the other one. Nice, beautiful. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Rhythm and Rescue Whiskey Wednesday. We're finally all back in the house. We're all back in the studio.
We are back.
My name's Chuck Weimer.
I'm Chief Atkinson.
I'm Nikita.
I'm Jamie, and I almost forgot to get to the microphone.
And Jamie almost forgot to get to the microphone.
Producer Jamie's been gone so long she forgot how this works.
This is true. This is true. She has been gone a bit. She's been gone longer than we have. We've been out for about 3 weeks. She's been out for about 5.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
I haven't seen you in a good bit.
It is so good to be back, brother.
Here's to you and here's to me. And if we ever disagree, well,
Forget you, here's to me. Oh, wait.
well, I've been married long enough to know it's probably my fault.
Okay.
I told you like that.
I see what you did there. Okay, hang on.
I told you you'd like that. All right, tell me about what you're drinking there.
It's almost a butterscotchy peppermint almost. That's kind of a
Wow.
I know that's a weird flavor combo, but
I'm just going to tell you right now, you are never going to be able to go on MasterChef and get past the guest list.
now normally I do pretty well. This one's kind of complicated.
This is not complicated. All right, just I'm addressing Nikita right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is not complicated. And when you see it, you're going to be like, moron. No.
She does that anyway.
I always say that's
she was like, he is a moron. I already know that.
that's what Jamie would say to me. So. Oh wow, yep, that's right. Greg is back. We got to cut him back a little bit.
Oh yeah, more clipping. I'm back. Take that.
All right, you got a better idea yet?
I know this flavor.
Man, I did a horrible job of setting up my stuff here. I'm like all tangled up. Can't reach my whiskey.
I can tell you I like it. The actual flavor, again, I'm still getting like it almost crosses like I said, a butterscotch and a peppermint.
I'm gonna tell you, you can smell that and you'll know what it is.
I don't know. Let me smell it. I know what it is, but let me smell it. Butterscotch.
Taste, not smell.
I don't know that I know what it is, but I definitely don't get a butterscotch feel. From
Go ahead and take a
When
guess
whiskey,
because
but I
you
there's
didn't
no
you didn't
butterscotch.
taste any, but what do you think it might be? By the way, that's Jamie's normal reaction to a whiskey of any kind.
Ooh, that burns.
I don't know, but my glass is empty. So I'm done tasting
Well, then
it.
it can't burn that bad.
No, it
doesn't burn at all. I mean,
No, it
unless you're
burns
Jamie.
me. Yes.
So
Oh, that's fine.
what is it?
I was saying,
Oh.
burn me.
So this is Old Smoky out of Tennessee.
Okay.
There's no butterscotch.
There's no butterscotch. I actually passed on the pecan, the peanut butter, and the butterscotch. I passed on all those, and I got you banana.
Banana.
How did you get butterscotch?
Some
from
Old Smoky banana.
Yeah, no, that was definitely not butterscotch. Now I taste it. Now it's the banana. I knew I liked
Now
it.
that you know what it is.
Now that I know what it
It
is.
makes sense. It's
By the
banana.
way,
It's
yeah.
in your wheelhouse.
I love banana.
That one is good.
Yeah, that one's going home with
That
us.
one's
You're
going
not going to drink that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Banana
it?
whiskey.
But do you like it?
it's all right. I wouldn't drink it. I wouldn't drink it regularly.
He was like, it's okay. It's going home with Greg.
You know, it's sugary. I know that if I don't drink enough water tonight, that by itself is going to give me a headache. James, on my TikTok, can you swipe it over so that I can see
Oh, yeah,
anything
that's
that
a good
comes
idea.
through? Yeah,
Sorry.
my old eyes.
Although you guys on mine, make sure you're clicking that subscribe button. Be a subscriber. Watch it. If you want to watch it for free, you can head over to Chuck Weimer Music. Chuck Weimer Music on TikTok. You can watch the podcast for free over there.
It's true. I mean, that's a true statement. You can still watch it for free on mine because I don't. I can't take the rejection of nobody watching on subscriber mode.
Yeah. It's all good.
Man.
So again, you can check us out here. That's fine. Hit the subscribe button. You can jump in. You can comment. You can do all that. Or you can go over to Chuck Weimer Music on TikTok, and you can join the conversation over there. This is the Rhythm and Rescue Podcast.
It is.
My gosh, I've missed you.
I missed you too.
It's been a crazy whirlwind month.
I'm thinking we'll catch up here in a minute because once we start, it
won't stop.
There won't be any
Yeah.
stopping. But let's check in with Jamie because Jamie went to the
Welcome
mountains.
back.
Jamie went to the mountains about 5 weeks ago, and we haven't had a
We had one
what's
without
the
her.
word I'm looking for? We didn't have a recap.
No, we've not had the
of
recap.
how your mountain trip
Yeah.
went.
Yeah.
So how was the mountain trip?
It was good. Of course, I miss everybody when I'm gone. I don't like being away from everybody, but I made the money that I needed to make and had some really nice weather.
You know, that was going to be the question I asked. You said you miss everybody when you're gone, but do you have time to miss everybody? Because
I
pretty much
do.
sun up to sundown, you're
Yeah.
working over there, right?
The restaurant will close about 5, between 4 and 5, depending
Okay.
on the traffic. So it was the evenings that I kind of had the
Gotcha.
downtime that I
Gotcha,
missed
okay.
everybody. But it was hard doing my job, like serving and waiting tables and stuff, but then also trying to make sure all of his stuff got done. I had to do a lot of scheduling of posts. I don't know my schedule.
Yeah,
I just like to post.
right.
I had to schedule posts all the time. Just, it's hard.
Yeah. It disturbs your regular schedule.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And then I'd have to get up at weird hours to make sure everybody was awake.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You have to get up in the middle of the night to make sure he gets up or whatever.
And
You know?
Matthew, we're an hour behind in Colorado, so he had to be up by like 5:45 to make sure he's off to school for football practice.
Right.
So that means I had to be up at 4:45 to make sure he was awake.
Stacy Dean, hey, what's going on? We see you
Hey,
over there.
Stacy Dean, good to see you. I got a couple people in here on the live. God bless you. Thank you for doing that. Hey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You guys can comment, be a part of this. If you want to watch it for free and do all that, you can head over to Chuck Weimer Music on TikTok. You guys can check it out over there.
I had a thought.
Okay,
You're on subscriber only, right?
I am subscriber only.
So they're already subscribed.
No, so they can see it. They just can't interact.
Oh,
They
gotcha.
can watch the
Gotcha.
preview,
For
and
a
after
little bit.
after the preview, it cuts them off, and then they have to go on.
See
so
how little
they
I
can,
know?
They can jump in and they can initially see it, but then it'll cut them off after a while. And if they want to interact, they have to be a subscriber.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can get the preview, but then they've got to go somewhere else.
Yeah, then we don't get the random, hey, X, Y, and Z happen.
Yeah.
And then next week, X, Y, and Z happen.
Yeah,
again
exactly.
to
Oh
somebody
Yeah.
else.
yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
We're
about.
not going to call anybody out because it might be real, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
No,
what you're
absolutely.
talking
So,
yeah, probably not.
so in a
Um,
month,
about.
in a month's time, right? A lot has happened. So you went to Colorado. You made decent money.
Yeah.
So new album coming out next week.
It'll help
No.
cover. No. It'll definitely help cover a good chunk of the expenses at the studio this next year. But
Sure.
we still need more.
Well, always. I mean, there's never enough.
No.
Well, and especially, well, I'm going to poke the bear right now, especially with this economy right now. Can you imagine what's going on with that, Chuck? I mean, that's crazy.
It is crazy. We
I
saw gas was up a little bit today, and
Yeah.
Jamie was like, well, I wonder why it's up. Now, I went and looked, and I can't find a good reason. So it must be
I can
somebody's
tell you.
fault.
I can, I can give you a good reason.
If
I mean,
it's, I've noticed that if it's one person's fault, there's never anything on it, and if it's another person's fault, then everything is on it. And even if it is the first person's fault, then the other person will get blamed.
this is the best political show ever. Anyone listening is like, what is happening right now? I have no idea what's happening.
And yet, if you've been following, you know exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
After I got back from Colorado, there was no downtime. We came back and hit the ground running. Like, came back, had football game,
Yeah.
we drove to Odessa for a show,
Sure.
drove back. We've driven last week,
Odessa. How long of a drive is that?
like 5 hours.
That's a 5-hour drive.
Last week alone, just on Friday and Saturday, we did over 1,000 miles
Stacy's not
because
wrong.
of all of the radio stations we went to as well.
Yeah.
Plus the show. So I was like,
How many-
back and,
How many stations do you guys hit in a year, roughly?
oh gosh.
Well, it depends on who's got availability. But Stacy Dean, you're not wrong. I don't think.
Oh yeah.
No, Stacy Dean, we
I
agree.
thought that was pretty
Yep.
accurate.
Right on point.
Yeah, depending on who's got availability and how far we're going out on a particular trip, on a particular run.
Yeah.
This last one we went 4 places because we had to come back, drop off my guitar player, pick up my drummer, and then go back out that same direction. Just because we weren't thinking when it got set up, so we ended up having my guitar player in the van with us going on the radio tour, but we had a duo that was set up with my drummer, and like, well,
you do a duo with your drummer?
Oh, yeah.
You and the drummer?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, not a lot of people do it.
No.
And, because he's on an E-kit, then we're able to
Yeah.
make that happen.
It
That's
comes out
that's
pretty good too.
that's very cool. Rarely do you have a lead guitarist and singer with a drummer,
Yeah.
duo. That's kind of usually it's the guitarist and the bassist or something of that
Well,
nature.
with a lot of the drummers out there, they're on an acoustic kit. They don't invest in the electronic kit. The staying conservative, I guess. Yeah, the traditional thing that
Yeah.
never changes. But the the acoustic kit will overpower
Very much
a
so.
lot of times a singer with just a guitar and vocal. So yeah, with the E kit, everything comes across the same level, and it's one of those things that kind of helps us get into some of the doors where they're just like, wow, they sound just this good with the two of them.
The rest of the
Let's
band's
just
gonna
bring
be
the whole
phenomenal,
band out.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Well,
part of the way we get to.
and let's be honest, your drummer's he's no slouch.
Not
He's
even a
very
little bit.
talented.
No,
Very talented, which helps.
I'm sorry if I get distracted here, but I keep on looking at. I am so washed out.
You are so pale, bro.
I look like I don't have a nose.
In all the times we have done a podcast, usually I am the one that washed out. I have color. You're so white. You're like Casper from the. No, it's not the camera, dude. I'm on it too. You're just that pale.
Proved you wrong.
Now we're both pale.
Actually, if I sit in a little closer, no.
No, dude, I don't know what it is.
look.
I've never seen you this washed out.
The light over here is better.
Go.
So.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I got a little more color coming this way.
Here, can you take the ring and back it up about a foot and a half?
God.
I should try.
That's crazy.
Like tuck it back in there as far as you can. So,
Okay.
oh,
So
wait.
when you're in Colorado,
Now,
obviously
that
you
helps.
work. The restaurant opens. So it's a
What's that?
basically a breakfast lunch spot, right?
Let's
So
Yeah,
turn
8 to
let's turn
5.
it down.
8 to 5.
How,
Okay,
how bright
so
it is. Like just turn
when
it
you
down.
work 8 to 5, when you get off, what do you do? Because you probably don't go do the touristy stuff. I
No,
wouldn't
I'm
think.
too
Right there.
exhausted. I just go
Yay!
back and
Now I look human.
veg.
Ish, yeah, you look human-ish.
Veg.
Sit back and veg
Mhm.
and do his stuff, do
Yeah.
his work, right?
Yeah. But I'm too exhausted. Only a couple times I'd even get out to go walk. It was just by the time I'm done, I've already done almost.
Do you?
10,000
Do you?
steps.
I was getting ready to say, do you keep a step tracker on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10,000 steps over the, and
From,
and it's
and
the
I didn't
same
go
10.
in- yeah,
it's
and-
the same 5 steps, just
well, basically.
just 2,000 times.
Yeah. But I didn't even actually go in. I didn't even go in at 8. Actually, I think I went in at 9. So the person who did breakfast originally, like she was there for 7:30,
Yeah.
and then I'd go in at 9, and then our other person would come in later on. And so I was, 9 to 4, 9 to 5, depending on how the traffic was, and I'm done. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I don't do anything.
So
Hi, Taylor.
this is my daughter's on yours
I had to sneak that in. I didn't want to interrupt.
because I'm sure she's not a subscriber on mine, which is why she hasn't subscribed to mine. So she's like, let me go over here where I can watch it for free.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah, she's like, hi, Dad. Hi, Taylor. Hi, baby. Nice to see you. You could subscribe. It's $2.99. Come on. You spend more than that on a coffee. Anyways,
Whoa, somebody's got a high opinion. High opinion of himself.
I'm just kidding. It's fine. Hi, baby. I love you. My son just had a birthday. He just turned 22. Steven, the middle
Wow.
child of the older 3.
I don't have his number. I would have called him and sang happy birthday.
Yeah, so he's actually going into law enforcement.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I was like, that
You're
is.
disappointed, aren't you?
I'm not. Well, I got my career started
I
in law
know,
enforcement.
yeah.
Yeah, so no, I'm not in any way, shape, or form disappointed. I was actually I'll be honest. I'm going to tell you this, and Chuck, maybe you can relate, maybe you can't. I don't know, but we know the risk we take, right? We've been in the field. We know the risk we take.
Yep.
When my son said he wanted to go into law enforcement, there was that small. Are you sure? I mean, I love the career. I love being in fire. I love being in law enforcement. I love being in emergency services. But then my brain clicked, and I was like, do you know how many of my friends I've buried?
Yeah.
Do you know how many of my friends I've lost? Do you know how many of my friends that, now my son's telling me he wants to go into this field? All of a sudden, a field I love and respect.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you want to do that? And but I could not be more honored. I could not be more proud of his decision. But
Absolutely. Just tell him to make sure that he's got a good social net.
yes, very much so.
A bunch of people that are nearby that he can talk to, and not to be ashamed to talk to the psychiatric people that are there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to be able to talk. You don't need to get no drugs or anything. Just got to talk sometimes.
And I will tell you, probably from when you and I started, I'm not going to age us a little bit, but 20-something years ago. Since that time, it has the mental health side of things have gotten 1,000 times better, in my opinion. It's not where it needs to be. It needs more work. It needs to get there. But there is yes, therapy and family. My daughter's right on. She gets it. Yeah, she understands right off the bat. I will tell you. So she works in the medical field. She works at a hospital, and she called us the other night. Same deal. Tough call, tough night, tough. And so she called us, and we all cried together. You know, we got through it together, and I need him to know the same thing. Sorry, I'm getting choked up just thinking about it, but these are my kids, right? It's different when it's you, but these are my babies.
Since we've already decided to crack the political egg, let me get, what's that?
Here we go. Hold on, buckle up.
I'm gonna crack another egg here, and I'll just go ahead and be the chauvinist on the panel. But
God bless you.
Yes, therapy is good, but that doesn't stop you from still being a man.
No,
So
I agree.
Learn how to deal with that stuff, so you don't have to drop thousands of dollars in therapy while you're sitting in group talk with a bunch of keyboard warriors.
But part of learning to deal with that is, like you said, learn to talk with it.
Yeah.
The idea that we were taught 20 years ago, which is just man up and carry on and bury it deep down, we obviously have figured out that doesn't work. We have to talk about it. And if more departments and more leaders were open to talking about it, then it wouldn't have to go to therapy. It would never even get to that point, because you would be able to handle it within the unit.
Yeah,
and that's the
that
goal.
support structure is really important.
Absolutely.
Stacey Dean was right. He said it, or Stacey, I
Stacey.
can't remember.
She.
Stacey,
Yeah.
she.
Gee, yeah, very much so.
Sorry, Stacy.
I
He has
keep
brain fart today.
I keep thinking Jim Dean or James Dean.
James
Yeah, all 1 ounce of it. I can't use it as an excuse. I get everybody confused with everybody else. It's okay. There was a Jamie that I called a guy for forever.
Not me.
Not my Jamie.
That would have been awkward. Yeah, this is my boyfriend Jamie. That would have been awkward. Would have been.
I can identify however I want.
It's 2024. You can't assume.
You know.
Stacy said, "What are we drinking tonight?" This is Old Smoky, Tennessee, banana flavor, just for Greg.
Because let's face it, I like my I was like, that's just for men. Just for Greg. I like my whiskey with a little bit of
because
flavor.
those are like counterpoints there.
Wow! Welcome to the podcast, folks. This is it. 2 guys with a bunch of whiskey talking about nonsense.
Are you sure you missed him?
I did. I absolutely
With
did.
every shot, I'm still walking. Blackberry Crown with Sprite. Okay, Stacy.
All right.
Like
I see
said,
you.
I like that.
Stacy did say that it's like the military, that
Yes.
support network and everything. So,
Absolutely.
I agree. But what I would say for your son is to find people in the unit that, or whatever unit he ends up in, that he can talk to, not just the shrink, because the shrink is going to have it's still going to be political.
Correct.
Shrink might tell them. Never mind.
They have things that they have
It's
to
an
say.
agenda.
No, I understand.
It's an agenda.
Well, it's not even that. It's just the red tape that goes around everything that they're doing. They
Right.
have to say certain things. They have to follow certain guidelines. Otherwise, they get Jordan Peterson out of Canada,
Right.
where
Wow. Wow.
it's they're trying to revoke all his certifications and everything because he's not saying the things that they want him to say.
Jordan Peterson is a very well-known activist and psychologist, and has all these certs and all these, and is very outspoken about mental health and also his faith and different things. And
How come I never heard of this person?
well, you probably have and just don't realize it.
Yeah,
He's all over social media.
he's accused of being a misogynist all the time, but really what he's saying is that there's certain roles that everybody has.
Yes.
You know, women have certain roles in community and in the household, and men have certain roles in the community and the household. And a lot of people just those roles haven't been being pushed anymore.
And when those rules were followed, one of his biggest thing is, you don't believe me? All you have to do is look at the divorce rate. All you have to do is look at the separation of families. All you have to do is look at the abortion rate and all of these different things. And again, we're not going to go political because that's not what we do. But
no, but I think this is probably great content.
But he's right.
Stacey's even saying right now, has
Never heard of him
heard
either.
him.
Yeah.
So
Very, very smart guy. And that's the other thing is he's very intellectually smart. I mean, he's got a very high IQ, and he basically says, look, your emotions have a place, just not in decision making. And
the idea is basically if men were as emotional as women want them to be, that would be a very bad thing in society.
Because everything would be decided by
because
emotion.
men are emotional. But
Yes.
men learn how to contain that, and they compartmentalize that emotion, and they push it into a place where it doesn't just fall out. Where women have the opportunity to be able to express that emotion, and that's their job. They're supposed to be the emotional side of
Very much so.
the relationship.
It's a partnership.
And the kids learn to have emotion from their moms, but they learn how to control it from their dads. And
Are you saying I can't control my emotions?
see, that's
And this is where we just should.
I'm gonna let you put on whatever cape you want to wear, but I didn't say that. You're gonna go back and watch this later on and be like, man, that was kind of a dumb question.
I will tell you that you know, it is our society has gotten so crazy, and I love and hate social media at the same time, right?
Yeah.
I think we all have kind of that love-hate relationship with it. And the fact that I love social media because it gives us the opportunity to have a voice, but it also gives those that have ridiculous ideas and ridiculous concepts the same voice to push and to have, you know, their agendas heard on a magnitude or a level that is just, you know, huge. And while I think that's fair, and don't get me wrong, but it comes to a point where you have to start. People like Peterson, who works in facts.
Mhm.
If you ever get the chance to look Peterson up, he's very analytical. He's very factual. He works off of numbers. He works off of, I can prove this and I can show you how. Those people sometimes get pushed to the side because, well, that makes me feel sad, or that makes me feel angry, or that makes me feel scared or hurt.
Well, that's one of the things that you tend to hear in an argument, right?
Yes.
Is I feel. And let me go ahead and address a couple of things that Stacy said before I go through that, but because this may be the topic for the night.
Sure.
Stacy said, "Oh yeah, on a topic I could rant about for hours."
Us too, obviously.
Stacy said that parents are not raising their kids with respect, morals,
amen to
and
that.
then without God. And while I somewhat agree with that, I think I just learned about this the other day, or just heard this the other day. A lot of it comes down to the single parent households. Mm-hmm. And in a single parent household, which don't forget, we got another one. I just want you to remember. I just want you to remember, because I don't want you to be like, oh, I can't do it, because you're with me.
I'm with you, brother.
But the one of the things that I had learned recently was that in those single parent households, the disciplined child tends to come out of the male, the single father homes.
Yes.
And nothing against women, but that tends to be the homes where you end up having your issues, is a single parent household with just the mom in the home. And the reason is because the kid gets the time out, and they get all the affection while getting corrected, and they get the I love you even though.
Yes.
And from the dad's side, you get, you screwed up, here's your punishment. It doesn't mean I love you less, but you still have a punishment.
Understand there's consequences for every action. Yes.
So those are the things that are a little bit different. And while God is a part of it in a lot of households, typically if God's not in the household, those are the ones that, and I'm not saying every household that's broken doesn't have God in it. There's plenty of church member households that have split up.
Yeah.
But more often than not, you're going to find a household that doesn't have God in it is also a broken home.
So I want to, while we're talking on this topic, I want to talk about something that's kind of crazy in what we've found in the firehouse. And that is, I've made kind of the statement that our firehouse has become the island of misfit toys. Okay. And
I need to sign up.
I don't mean that well, and I don't mean that bad. I don't mean that derogatory. What I mean is, if you look, I have a captain he is a 23-year Master Sergeant in the United States Army. He is retired. He is a very much fatherly figure. He is a very much black and white. This is the rule. This is the way it is. He's very much about structure. He's very, I mean, you get it, right? Like it's the whole military, like that's who he is.
Oh, yeah.
Still wears the hat, 2 fingers off the nose, like not that's
Except
how
he rounds it around the
side. He rounds it around the side, so it doesn't really, So
sorry, Major hated I did that.
Yeah. So and Captain DeLucia is one of my he's my left hand. My assistant chief is my right hand. He is definitely my left hand. Okay. That being said, he came to me one day and he goes, "Why do we have all these kids that have issues? Why do we have all these kids that, you know, why are they looking at me like a father figure?" And I said, "Cap, listen, this person lost their dad when they were 16. This person's dad's in jail. This person's mom was in jail. This person's mom was passed away. This person's dad was, you know, he now lives in New Hampshire. This person's dad now lives in Massachusetts." Mm-hmm. And This person lived with their grandparents because their parents are both in jail and beat them when they were small. You are their father figure.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you watch the light bulb go off in this guy's head. And this guy's very smart. Captain DeLucia is very smart, very intellectual, but the light bulb went off. And he was like, well, then I know what I must do. And all of a sudden, like he became there. It was like, you don't know how to use a power tool? Come here, let me show you.
Yeah.
Well,
You don't know how, you don't have a suit? Let me show you how to tie.
So before that conversation, he would come back to an area and be like, I just don't understand, you know, or he'd walk in and he'd be like, why are we sitting around? Like, let's get up, let's go do something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what do they need to do?
Yeah, they don't have any
They
direction. They don't know. No one's ever told them.
So,
It's not that they don't want to. They're here for a reason.
right.
They just don't know how.
Yeah. So I have watched him within the last couple months walk in and be like, hey, we're doing some mechanicing. Come on.
I like that.
And guys or girls, it doesn't matter. They go out and they get under the hood of one of those big deuce and a halves and they start working on a diesel engine.
That's
Or
good.
it doesn't matter. They go out and they start sewing on a button on a uniform. It doesn't matter guy or girl, right? You're going to learn these skills because you're going to need them,
Yeah.
right? And all of a sudden, what we've done is we have a house full of 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are looking for some kind of structure. And Cap said, well, I know what I got to do. I'm going to be their dad because a lot of them don't have it. And my AC came out one day, my assistant chief came out one day and she goes, you know, I'll be honest, I didn't realize how many people we had that came from a broken home. Or
Yeah.
I said, here's the thing. You want some statistics? I got statistics. You know where I got them? Peterson. So 50% of all high school seniors, this is the first time in history, 50% of all high school seniors are coming from a broken home one way or another.
Yeah.
Okay, 25% of all high school seniors are going to have a parent that's incarcerated. 25% are going to have another parent that's passed away. Okay, these are historical statements. These are historical statistics, right? And it's the first time in history that we're seeing this. And what it's leading to is these broken homes and these broken families are leading to a bunch of kids who don't have the discipline and the knowledge that they're supposed to have, the discipline and the knowledge that they've had previously in history. Not to mention, as a Western culture, we're one of the only cultures still today that we kick the people out at 18, right? At 18, you better have a job. You got to go figure it out. You go to Asian cultures, you even go to most European cultures. There's 3 generations living under one roof. So you got mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, all raising, you know, sometimes aunt and uncle, all raising the same child, right? So you have a village within the house raising the child. But here we might have a single mom who's doing her best to raise 3 kids, right? Well, how in the world is that single mom going to raise 3 kids on her own? That's not realistic. We're now, and let's heaven forbid say she had one of those kids when she was 15 or 16. So now we got babies raising babies with no help because their parents are incarcerated or passed away.
Or kicked them out.
When they were 18.
And resent them because they had that child
Correct.
out of wedlock or whatever the relationship
And,
is.
and
By the
so,
way, Stacy said, say it loud for those in the back.
yeah. So
He doesn't need to be louder.
yeah. No, I'm already clipping. He's already turned me down twice. But that's where we get into let's be realistic. And if we as a society want to turn this around, then we need to have more Captain DeLucias in the world where step up and say, you know what? I understand your daddy's gone. That's not your fault. Let's turn this around. I'm going to be your daddy now. Let's teach you how to mechanic. Let's teach you how to sew on the buttons. Let's give you that structure. Let's give you the things you need to be successful no matter what field you go in.
Yes, but
Yes,
at the same time, oh, by the way, Stacy, I commend you for being the exception to the rule. Just to clarify, my statement doesn't mean all single mothers are doing a bad job.
Not even
my
close.
statement is just statistically, those
Yes.
that come out of a single parent, single father home are more disciplined. Doesn't mean they're better, just means that they're more disciplined and they tend to be more successful in life just because that discipline is in there. But
there are plenty of single moms that have their head on their shoulders.
yeah,
and
absolutely.
Well, and that's the statistics show that. So, like statistically, right? When you talk about that, you got to remember that means if there is a statistic for it, there's somebody out there who's doing a good job. It's just unfortunately not enough of them.
Yeah, and then so with all that, going back to what I was going to say before I address Stacy again, I got to figure out a way to do this where I don't get distracted.
ADD, you're not going to do that.
story of my life.
The next step after is the product of the broken home needs to still take accountability because yes, the start was rough.
Yeah.
You overcame challenges.
Yes.
You've reached a spot where now There's no more excuse for the
100%.
for the challenges that you had to
100%.
overcome. You're
Yep.
already you made it to adulthood. You've got that job. You've got you went to college. You went to whatever it is you did, wherever you're at.
Yep.
This is your point where now you're responsible for your actions, and you're also responsible for not continuing that cycle, because everything is done in cycles, and we want to break those cycles. You want to break the cycle of a single parent home, because statistically the child that comes from a 2-parent home is going to have more success.
Absolutely.
They have a better shot at it.
Absolutely.
Does that mean that all of them come out perfect? No. I know plenty of jerks that came out of 2-parent homes and they don't even know how to tie their shoes. They still wear Velcro. Okay? It's just what it is. But
don't judge my zippers on the side of my boot.
Michelle is over on Facebook and says, I remember back in school we had to take a home ec class.
Yeah.
How to cook and sew. I need to bring it back. I agree that life skills is something that should be taught in school. And here's a hot take. Most people don't need to go to college.
Oh, come on now. Preach it better.
Most people
Preach
don't
it better
need to
for the
go to
people in the
college.
back.
And the reason they don't need to go to college is because they go to college, they get a degree, and then they don't use it. They go into something else, some other field that didn't need the degree to begin with.
And they're tens of thousands of dollars in debt.
So you want stats? I got stats for you. You ready for that? I'm here on the college side.
Before you do,
holding.
We would have been out at Black Creek Bar and Grill tonight, but unfortunately, we hadn't seen each other in so long, and we knew this was going to be a long one, so we decided to do it at our house. But we want to thank our sponsor, Black Creek Bar and Grill, because they have taken really good care of us. And stay tuned, because we're going to tell you about some stuff that's going to be happening over at Black Creek coming up in the near future. I think that covers it, and I'll edit out whatever I just did right there at the end.
Insert commercial here.
I'm about to. Good call, Keita. Yeah, see, now Keita's leaning into that producer
production.
role.
There we go. That's production right there.
No more excuses.
I
now you gotta
not have a job, so I'll do anything.
No more excuses. We gotta lean into those roles that we've reached, and Keita's leaning into that producer role because Jamie stepped out of the room.
We're gonna talk about that in a second. She's almost out. She's almost out of the United States Navy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I distracted you.
You're fine.
Go with what you were saying.
So
statistics.
Yes, statistically, you were talking about people that go to college and not being in the field they do. Okay, So here we go. Do you know that half the people that get a student loan, do not finish college?
Yes.
Think about this. Okay, so half the people that go into debt do not finish college, so they don't have a chance to go into that field.
Right.
Of the half that do, only 25% go into the field that they actually studied in. So, of the people who get a student loan,
it's hard to get a job in underwater basket weaving.
Yes, that's true. Of the people who get a student loan, 75% do not go into the field that they got a student loan to get a degree in. 25% actually go into the field that they study. Of those 25%, do you know how many of them are specialty, such as doctor, lawyer, something of that nature?
Oh, you mean the ones that actually do need a degree?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How many?
Yeah. So about 19%.
Ooh, your numbers are high.
So my point is, unless you're going to go into a specialty that absolutely requires you to have a degree,
I think
college is.
You were basing that off of the people who actually finished their degree.
Correct.
And everything. Okay. Yeah.
Correct.
5% of the people that go to college
are
going to for a skill that requires.
Yes. Of the 25% that finish, I'm sorry, I should have clarified that. You're absolutely right.
I got off track, but you're good.
So of the 25% that finish, 19% of those are in a specialty that requires you to have a degree in that field, such as lawyer, doctor, of that nature. Now, you're right. Of those, that's only 5% of people that go to college, right? So we're talking about 95% of people have no reason to go and get themselves into debt and get a degree. And I can even go one step further. I've got one student right now who graduated from our academy, Fire and EMS, did not go to college and is making $80,000 a year. I have another student who is currently in our Fire and EMS Academy, and by the end of the year has the potential to make $50,000 to $60,000 a year. I mean, it is time and time again, we can prove that college is not what it was cracked up to be even 15, 20 years ago.
See, now we're on a serious topic here, and lo and behold, your daughter is now throwing shade at me.
Off topic? No. I will say, we didn't mention it earlier, but my daughter, when we were talking
I don't know you, Taylor, but I love you anyway.
When we were talking about coming from a broken home, of course, I am divorced. My older three come from a broken home. she was clapping and saying, "Preach it again for the people in the back." She's got 4 great parents who understand the topic and understand that it's about the kids and not about each other.
So you guys were from, or she was from a broken home, but that home was glued back together.
Correct.
Right? Because
Correct.
there's not dysfunction between the birth parents. Oh, Game Changer? No, Game Changer said play music, but we will write. Taylor had said
The broken.
making fun of me getting off track.
Yeah.
As I lose my train of thought. But yeah, the
Taylor and the older 2 boys are very lucky. They do have 4 very.
Their stepdad's amazing. I'll say it right now. I love Richard. He's an amazing guy.
You guys have a good relationship with the other parents, and that's a good thing. Michelle said on another topic, so I guess Michelle's going to be guiding our.
Thank you, Michelle. Help us out.
I'm jumping all
We're all over the place.
I'm jumping all over this one here. I see it.
It's fun.
So she said on another topic, my 17-year-old was asking how she can vote. Luckily, she turns 18 only 2 days before election day. So we already have her set and ready.
Right.
But more young adults
is that
need
not
to
what was
be
meant? My bad.
aware and ready. Now, Michelle, yes, I agree. However,
It took me a second to see what she said.
Yeah.
I got you.
I'm going to lose friends, not just viewers. I'm going to lose friends over this statement here. I think most people shouldn't vote.
Oh.
Now,
come on now.
I think most people shouldn't vote because they are not voting based off of knowing anything they're voting about.
I knew where you were going.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
If you actually
Be an intelligent voter.
Yeah, well, I don't even need you to be intelligent. Just be an average voter. Know a little bit.
Well, that's
about
what I mean. Be an
about.
educated, not intelligent. Be an educated voter.
I don't need
Learn
you to
something.
go back and look and see everything that Kamala Harris said all through her life. I don't need you to go back and look and fact check and find out if the mainstream media lied about Donald Trump or if they didn't. I don't care about all that. What I care about is if you have 2 people that have a record and they both have already been in those positions of power,
Mm-hmm.
and their record is not what they're saying they're going to do, maybe you should trust them when they already told you who they are, that they're going to be that person.
Yep.
Likewise, if you have somebody who is a mean old nasty orange man and he says mean things about people, then if you're going to vote on personality is not why we vote. We vote for somebody who can lead. We vote for somebody who can, put in the right policies. And, you got to vote your particular ideals.
Yes.
I'm trying to find the right way to say this.
I'd even go a step further and say, if you're voting on the 2 individuals that are running, you have no idea how politics actually work. Because if you think either one of them are truly running the country, you're out of your mind. And I'm not some conspiracy theorist or all this, right? But all you have to do is look at the history of politics and understand that the political parties have their own agendas, and you have to line up with whatever agenda is, because that's what's going to be pushed. It doesn't matter who the actual president is. The agenda is what's going to be pushed and talked about.
Taylor said that egg equals cracked, and I think that means me. So that's fun.
You were talking about cracking those eggs.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And,
Yes.
and I'd vote for the Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
She said they were always right, but if you watch Wonka, they weren't.
I disagree. I would disagree.
One was a thief.
And
I
was
was
the other thing.
forced to watch that show.
I think you and I would both agree that
It's held down.
both.
He's not talking about the original.
Yeah,
He's talking about the new one.
Yeah.
I said Wonka.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
It was not a good.
It was not a good.
It was
movie.
terrible.
Yeah, it was atrocious. But I think you and I would agree that neither political party is 100% right, ever. And if you think that, you're brainwashed. You have to look at facts and information and go back to and I'm not, again, we've gone far down a political road that I did not anticipate.
That's where we're at. You started.
I did not start this. I don't know how we got here. Anyways.
Your wife is even saying you started it.
I'm gonna give you a little.
I'm over here because when you get struck by lightning for.
I'm gonna give you a refuge. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a refuge here. Jesse Slaughter said, let me take off my tinfoil hat and step inside my tinfoil dome. Deep state.
God bless you, Jesse. But
Jesse, we got to get this thing hooked up so that we can do a cross-platform thing.
So I've been on 2 meetings with him in the last 2 days. Like, he's all the way up in Granbury, up by Dallas. We've been on 2 meetings together in the last 2 days. So at this point, I've talked to him more than I've talked to you in the last month.
Yeah, but you talk to everybody more than you talk to
Oh,
me.
wow.
Hey, I'm just saying, you're not chasing my shows, man. You got other things going on.
Well, that's true.
You're running
right
your
about that,
thing, and Jamie's running my thing. So, you know.
Tuesday. Jesse, glad you're here. God bless you.
No, but I think Jesse and I one of the things that we had talked about was letting him know what we were going to be drinking the night we were going to be doing a recording, and then that way he'd be able to, or on his side, they'd be able to do the same thing. And then we can do it through StreamYard where everybody can talk together.
That'd be cool. So kind of a four-way podcast between their.
Don't say things like that though.
But it would end up basically what it ends up.
Yeah, Jamie.
What it ends up being is basically it's like we host it. There's one guest, and they're that one guest, but they have their two mics and everything, kind of like we're doing right now.
Sure.
So yeah, it's not a four-way.
Taylor said she's on yours.
We're not swinging.
She needed the love.
She ain't lying.
And she didn't want to pay the $2.99 to be a subscriber on mine. It's okay. I get it. My daughter says it's not worth $2.99.
That's my dad, Jamie.
Taylor's already.
Oh man. Okay.
I just heard words come out of his mouth and just.
Let's
This thing is derailed.
Let's talk fire department. What's going on?
Yeah.
With the fire department?
Man, the last month has been a crazy whirlwind. Of course, we go through budget season. So for those of you that don't know what budget season is, essentially all of your governmental entities start their fiscal year in October.
Mm-hmm.
And so leading up to it is this big battle on how do we pay for what we want to do? You know, what services are going to be provided? How are we going to pay for it? Do we have to raise taxes? Do we not raise taxes? If you raise taxes, you're a very bad person, even though most people don't understand what taxes do what. And so there was this whole big thing leading up. So the last month has been a battle of budget season and taxes and this and that. I got knocked around in the media a little bit. That's okay. I'll be grown. It's no big deal. I'll be fine with that. But at the end of the day, Divine is actually getting ready to make history. Our own little history. So as of October 1, so as of next Tuesday, it'll be the first time in history that Divine has paid fire shifts on at the Divine Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department. And we will have two people every day, 24/7, 365 going forward. So that's pretty exciting.
That's exciting, yeah.
We are very excited about that. And then also in the last month, I was voted to the Assistant Secretary of the Certification Board for the State Firemen's Fire Marshals Association. It's a really long title to say. I became Jesse Slaughter's little. Yeah, I'm the assistant. I'm the Assistant Secretary of the Certification Board for the State Firefighters and Fire Marshals Association, which basically means I'm Jesse's little go-getter. That's it.
If I took that amount of words into Mac, he would tell me I have to chop that course in half.
That means Jesse just gets to tell me what to do. That's what it means.
Taylor just called you out for doodling.
I know. So let me address that, and then we're gonna go right back to what you're saying, just so everybody who's watching now know. And she's like, "This is important." I know, Taylor, this is important, but it's also important that I address the people that are sending in comments, and I don't want to interrupt him. So I'm not doodling. I'm taking notes, so that I can address.
Is that a starfish? No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. So I have on here that I need to address Stacy's comment about Taylor Swift fans and your doodling comment. All right, carry on. Back to the word salad.
So in that last month,
you're ready to be a politician.
Stop yourself. That is just rude. So in the last month, I also had a meeting. Actually, this one happened today with Jesse Slaughter, who, by the way, for those of you that don't know who Jesse Slaughter is, he's one of the best assistant chiefs in the great state of Texas. He's an assistant chief up at Granbury Fire Department in beautiful Granbury, Texas.
Well, don't get distracted.
Too late. All I saw was Derek was doing something inappropriate, and then all of a sudden my daughter chimed in, and
I got your whole family.
Yeah. I still have 4 people on subscriber only, even if you guys don't think I'm worth $2.99. It's fine.
Derek doesn't even want to pay $2.99.
Yeah, Derek doesn't even want to pay $2.99. That's fine. It's whatever.
That's
my entire family's over on his. Katie, are you on his too?
No, I'm on yours.
So you're one of my 4 paid? God bless you.
We're actually doing pretty good. You got a number of people over there.
Yeah.
I've got some folks over here. People are commenting. We got a couple over here. We got one I think is on YouTube and one's on Facebook.
Good stuff.
Yeah, one's on Facebook, one's
Derek
on
says
YouTube.
he's broke. Derek says we're on
Derek is
board.
broke. Derek's,
We're
a college,
on board on Chuck's
Derek's
side.
playing college basketball, so he is really broke right now. He is ramen noodle broke.
That's okay. Hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in and checking us out. And since we have so many people here, let me just go ahead and let you guys know that if you need any kind of Western apparel, we are also sponsored by Humdinger Boots. They it's humdingerboots.com. You can use promo code ChuckWeimer24 and you'll get 15% off. I've got some fantastic rubber-soled work boots. They look like regular Western boots, but they're designed for working. You can run, do all your stuff in there, and not have to worry about the soft sole. They got some fantastic shirts. Am I wearing it?
No.
No, you're not wearing
I
it.
was wearing the other hat earlier today, the Hui hat. But they're also, when we get to enough subscribers, I don't know if I told you this or not. I might have, but Ken is going to donate a pair of boots
Oh, wow.
as a giveaway.
I don't
But
think I knew that either.
you didn't. But we're
You were in Colorado. No.
but we're gonna need to figure out what that challenge is gonna be, and we're gonna need you guys to start helping. You guys are already helping. You guys are here. You guys are doing your things. You know, keeping this thing going. But once we get to a certain number of whatever metric we decide to base it off of, then we're gonna do a giveaway for those boots. And Ken from spurradio.com and humdingerboots.com is going to donate those boots from his stuff. So. We appreciate your support, and that's one of the benefits of being a supporter is that you're going to have the opportunity to get yourself some free merch. And
You know what I would say to that?
now
That's a humdinger.
Good job. Woo-hoo, I'm so proud of you guys.
It's like we've done this before once or
Yeah,
twice.
and then when they listen to
All 5 people have listened
when
to
they
it.
listen to the Spotify version, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's a different ad than he read."
That didn't sound nothing like we got live. Yeah.
Taylor was already in there. She's like, "That's a
Humdinger. That's right.
About 5 minutes too early, but it was good.
That's funny.
Hey, for those of you who are on my TikTok, thank you for being there. I appreciate you. God bless you. If you want to subscribe. We do a lot of stuff. We do a lot of instruction. We do a lot of training on this TikTok. If you don't want to pay for the subscription, that's okay. You just want to watch the podcast. You can go on over to Chuck Weimer Music on TikTok, and you can check it out right there on Chuck Weimer Music.
Or they can go on YouTube or on Rhythm Rescue and YouTube or on Rhythm Rescue on Facebook.
Yeah, Rhythm Rescue YouTube and Rhythm Rescue Facebook. You can check us out there. You can also see the video.
If you want to see me look like a vampire, that's the place to go.
You're still kind of pale.
I am.
I get kind of blurry and then I come back in. I don't know. Is that just me?
Might be your eyes.
Taylor said
Might be done
she's
with
been
it.
subscribed to you for 24 years.
That's
That's wild.
I think I'm subscribed to you for 24 years. I've been paying the bill.
Taylor is as old as my marriage.
No, we're older than that.
No, not much. I mean, 24, 25, whatever.
Dude, we're coming up on 27.
Are we really? Feels like just
Chuck.
yesterday.
Stop, Chuck. Yeah, Kamala Harris earned her spot. It's I'm just saying.
Oops.
Whoops.
She was trying to help me.
Yeah. Taylor's like, run away. Oh goodness.
Has it been that long?
Yes.
It doesn't feel like that long.
December
Because every day with you just seems like
97.
a moment.
See, now that's a good thing. Now, if I was thinking like it was 50 years or something like
Right.
that'd be something to be upset
That would be an
about.
insult, but
Yeah,
thinking it's only been a couple days, that's
good.
he must really love you.
Feels
That's
like just
awesome.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Way to follow. Way to follow, bro.
I got
We're
you,
working
brother.
together to try to dig out of the hole.
So how about those shows you've done this last month?
No, we're digging a shelter now.
Derek said he
Hey.
got your finger.
Hey, Jesse, we're going to need that tinfoil dome.
I know when the anniversary is.
That's the only important part.
Oh my gosh.
Time flies and you're having fun.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
boy. Oh.
Well, let's see what else we got
Yeah,
going on.
let's talk about your show. So we talked about the fire department. We talked about the stuff I've been doing for the last month. What shows have you done?
Oh man, I've been all over the place, man. Ain't nothing changed there. We're
And he
up
doesn't know
and
where
down
we
the
were.
road.
So we were in Odessa a few weeks ago.
Doesn't know where he's at. Doesn't know when his marriage is. Brother, right?
Yeah.
Want some more whiskey?
so lost.
We were in Odessa a couple weeks ago. We were in brain fart.
Okay, so have you guys been anywhere?
I'll
'Cause
tell you
neither one
what.
of you know where you're at.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's let's go ahead and close this one down. We're coming up on 50 minutes right now,
Okay,
which is
let's do it.
when we get to the streaming side, that ends
Yeah.
up being a pretty hefty amount right there. Plus,
But
we're gonna throw those ads
We can
in.
leave TikTok up, even if
We'll
we're
leave
taking
TikTok
stuff.
up.
Yeah.
We're not going to change anything on
Yeah.
there. So that's one of the benefits of being on TikTok. You guys get to see everything that's going on. For
The
those of
behind
you
the
that are
scenes.
watching on Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and leave that running as well. The only thing I'm going to stop is the stream, or not the stream, but the recording, and start up the new one so that we can have a couple of episodes that to make up for the 3.
So we don't go
Yeah.
for 3 weeks
3
without
weeks that I
an
missed.
episode.
Somebody decided they wanted to clean out the computer while I was gone.
All 4 people
So-
were
so that's-
disappointed we weren't on the air.
That's content. Let's
Okay.
let's go ahead and save that for the next
Okay.
week. You guys can beat me up
Okay.
there in lieu of politics. But for everybody listening on Spotify, Apple, or wherever it is that you get your streams, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We will have an episode up next week because we're going to record it here in just a few minutes. But we definitely appreciate you. My name's Chuck Weimer.
I'm Chief Atkinson.
I'm Nikita.
I'm producer Jamie.
And if you treat your dreams like a hobby, they're just going to be dreams. So don't throw snowballs at brick walls.
So don't go anywhere anybody else because we're sticking
Yeah,
around.
TikTok, stick around. We're not going anywhere.
All I'm doing is
Episode
clicking
2 coming next.
save.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a rotational
Do I
party
need to
break.
go? Do you have the other drinks in here?
No, but you can grab either of those other 2.
Yes. Can I help you?
If you grab the smaller of the other 2,
No, sir.
then grab both of them.
Come here. Come here.
Actually, you know what?
Come here.
We're gonna do a run. We're
Come
gonna
here.
just grab the 2
Daddy,
littles
clap real quick.
and
just say
the new one I got today and the one
Can you
that
say hi,
Peter got
Taylor?
last time.
Say hi, Taylor.
Everything that's up there. Just grab one. All
She's
3
over
of
there
those.
on that one. You can't see her, but she's there.
So now you
Hi,
guys get to
Taylor.
see
Hi,
a
Derek.
little bit more of the behind the scenes stuff as I
Look,
try
Taylor
and
said,
say
"Jack,
this.
Jack."
Let's see, what was this? Politics,
Can you say hi to Sissy? Say hi, Sissy. She's saying hi.
religion, and
You want to go in the living room? All right. Love you.
Chuck
Say bye to Taylor and Derek. Say bye, Taylor. Bye, Derek.
You can't
Or-
stay for that many episodes.
All right.
is-
How many?
Go on, Bubba.
How many we do?
Thanks.
We're not doing
Oh, it's
we're not
okay.
doing a bunch of episodes. We're just gonna do we're just gonna hit all of them in one.
No, save them for another. Oh my god.
Wait, we're hitting. No, we're not hitting all those. No,
Golly.
I have to work tomorrow. No.
Told you to take it easy. Okay, so we're getting ready for the next one. Body break?
Yeah, probably not a bad idea.
All right, cool. So I will hold it down while you run off and do yours, and
Do
then you'll have to do the same thing when I do mine.
Sounds like
That's
fun.
some
Um,
interesting conversations.
The kids should
Yeah,
not
yeah,
ditty Diddy
yeah.
parties. I
Yes.
agree.
The Diddy guys kind of.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors. Doesn't sound like anyone should experience Diddy parties. It's true. I agree. Remember, we lived in Orange. Okay, well, let's do a vote. I don't know if there's any comments going off on his side, so should Greg have Buffalo Trace? Oops.
Good job.
Should he have Crown Royal vanilla?
Ooh.
Or I'm sorry, is it
Yes.
vanilla?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it is vanilla. And or Select Club. You know what?
What is that? I don't know,
Yeah,
but he's trying to get a
little
vote from
souvenir
everybody.
bands.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Can we rinse these up? I
Taylor
think?
said crown.
Yeah, but Stacy said Buffalo.
We go and see that.
They're voting right now.
Who's voting?
People
Well,
on
the
his.
people on my chat, because I don't know if anybody's talking on yours.
No,
Um,
you're lucky to have a couple
Yeah,
people.
mine have gone. I've actually probably.
I would.
all right. Okay. Oh, wait, I gotta
And I
check.
know you set it up for subscriber only, but like the most people you had were like 3.
Okay, and then Michelle said Trace, so we got two
You want me to do not subscriber only?
It's up to you.
for the Fluffy Buffalo.
What did we come up with?
What is happening?
Fluffy buffalo.
Fluffy Bolo? What?
That sounds interesting.
We got 2 for Buffalo. Let's see. Now we headhunt. Crown all the subscribers and nobody talks. All right, Greg, hold it down. I'll be right back, y'all, and then we will check to see. It looks like we got Buffalo is in the lead with 2, Crown on 1, and I think we'll go ahead and do the Select Club anyway, just so he can have his souvenir to go home with.
All right, then.
We already have one souvenir to go home with.
Taylor said, "Don't drink the fluffy milk. It means it's bad."
Rubber Ducky, somebody said, go Pirates.
Yep. That's a good one to say.
Well, I mean, I knew it had to be for y'all, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if you
They
knew
have a
the
game
Rubber
tomorrow
Duckies.
night on Matthew's birthday. Hi. Can I help you? Isn't that face pretty?
All right.
Chloe. Hey.
The people on your TikTok right now are getting motion sick. They're like, oh, what's happening?
I'm sorry, people. I just wanted to show you my dog, but she walked away.
Check out.
Excuse you. Here, that's my toes. Don't lick the toes. Can I
That
help
sounds
you,
funny.
Harley?
All right.
Well, I'm not going to be able to move again. It's like they're either at my feet or right at the door.
I know.
They're
then I
good
go to
babies.
Harley,
They're good babies.
Harley, this is not your room. Come on,
Go.
come on.
He let you in because
Come
I
on.
was
But Dad.
That was the only reason you
You
got to
take
come
up
in.
way too much space.
She's mad the kids are in the floor.
Oh, be glad I don't have a Saint Bernard. Oh, slide the puzzle piece.
Oh.
All right. So, I'm curious about this one myself,
Okay.
because I don't know that I've ever tried it. So before we go to the
Fired.
The OC is pulling in, it sounds like.
oh.
The original Chuck.
The OC.
The OC. The original Chuck.
All right,
Right,
so we
yeah.
got that one. Let's
You
see.
can hear the bike pulling up.
Yeah.
Taylor wants to pet the puppy. Taylor, why don't you come out here for Christmas one year? We'll
Yeah,
have
go.
a
Yes, Taylor, why don't you?
big old family Christmas. Your family, our family. Terminal list.
She's trying to come for
They don't know that, so we quiet.
You gotta say it quieter.
she's might be coming at some point.
I think I find you, Chuck.
Oh, cool. Well, where are we? We're gonna be up by.
We'll be in the Dallas area.
We're gonna be in
then,
the Dallas area for
Farmersville.
that. Yeah, Farmersville.
but just for that one night. Like,
Mhm.
so we'll be back after that. Like,
Yeah. So come on out and then plan for a 4-hour drive.
Let's not do that.
you guys could come out. Drive
Doesn't
up to
sound very Christmassy.
Farmersville, where
That doesn't sound fun at all,
It's a
actually.
vineyard and winery place. Yeah. see?
Dead
They
squinting.
have my attention.
All right, here we go.
All right, hang on, I'm getting my thing back up here.
3, 2, 1.
Make it happen.
Welcome back to another episode of Rhythm and Rescue Whiskey Wednesday. We're having a good time. There's been a lot of people chatting, and we just decided we're going to dive right back into this thing. So thank you all for those that are still here, and we're going to just basically pick up where we left off. My name's Chuck Weimer.
I'm Chief Atkinson.
I'm Nikita.
I'm producer Jamie.
Isn't it funny how every time we go through that intro, they both look confused?
I know. We do it every single
I don't
episode.
look confused. I don't know what you're
They're
talking about.
always.
What are they doing?
That's just my face.
What are you trying to say?
It's like there's a delay. I'm Chuck. I'm Greg.
You know what's
and
funny?
then
That's
I'm
funny.
Nikita.
that phrase makes me laugh because I got on
It's
to
just my
Matthew
face.
about. I ask him all the time, like, "What is your problem? Nothing. Why do you look so mad? It's just my face."
Yeah. Katie has resting petty officer face.
Matthew says he has. What did he call it? He didn't call it an RBF. He called it a.
I don't know.
I don't even remember now. At this point, to me, it's probably the typical teenage face.
I call mine resting cheap face.
Yeah, good possibility.
Oh,
Yeah.
JoJo Wyatt.
The Game Change is all about this P Diddy stuff.
Yeah,
What up, Joe
I'm
Wyatt?
not terribly up to speed on the P Diddy thing, so I'm not going to really address it too much. But thank you for being involved. Taylor Swift, that was a question that we had earlier.
Yeah, I think she's killing Kelsey's numbers.
What did she say? She said, well, Kelsey.
I'm just gonna put it out there, right? Ever since he started dating her, his yards per catch have gone down.
You know, it's like a prize fighter, they say. Anyway,
I'm just saying she's a distraction.
Taylor Swift fans, Stacy had said, tell me you're not a Taylor Swift fan or whatever. I'm gonna tell you from a musician side of it, I don't really dig her music. I think that
We switched.
she is a fantastic.
I wasn't ready.
Fantastic business mind. She's doing a great job when it comes to business, but she made her mark off of writing songs about breakups and targeting that teenage market. And I think she's moving along to the next step, which is all those kids that she was singing songs for. They're all listening to that pop nonsense.
Yeah,
I mean, so she's staying relevant to her market, and unfortunately, she probably lost about half and gained gained 3/4 on the other side.
Yeah,
because half of them stayed on country, and they are upset, and then she picked up a huge pop market. So it's just she's still business minded, very very smart.
Luckily, Kelsey went on tour with her and got on stage because otherwise nobody knew who she was. So I'm just saying,
wow.
I'm glad he went on tour with her, but it's killing his yards per catch.
I remember. I think they say it was Joe Diffie. Who'd they say it was that Big Machine Records? They introduced her. I can't remember, but it was a 90s country artist that introduced her to Big Machine Records, and they were the ones that really kind of launched her.
Yeah,
and it was just because she happened to know.
Wasn't it Tim McGraw who?
No, she sang about Tim McGraw.
She sang about Tim McGraw.
I want to say it was Joe Diffie, but I might be wrong on that one.
He also helped launch her.
I'll be honest. I have no problem with Taylor Swift. You hit the nail on the head. She's smart as far as business wise. She's put good people around her. I may not agree with her music. I may not. It's not my genre or my taste. But she's been very smart in her business moves, and it has worked for her well. And now she's gotten a very good grasp on another market that she wouldn't have otherwise broke into by. And I'm not saying that's why she's dating Kelsey, but I'm saying dating Kelsey has definitely also added to her popularity.
I don't think so.
You really don't?
No, I think she actually brought some people to football. I don't think that it went the other way around.
I don't.
Really?
She brought in a lot of girls are watching football because of her.
Yeah, the people.
I would agree with that. I'm not saying she didn't bring people to football, but you don't think there's anybody out there who kind of went, you know what?
No, not really, because they already heard her at the Super Bowl once, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. I know people. What I have seen is people are more frustrated with her.
Well, I know she's killing my fantasy team, so I need him to focus on what's going on the field. That's what I know.
Well, as a segue, killing his fantasy team. This is Select Club whiskey. I picked these up just because the nifty little bag. I wanted to make sure that Greg got himself a souvenir on the way home. So there you go. There's your bag. And
Appreciate
then you guys saw his initial reaction when his face went.
Yeah.
Because
I forgot we had switched.
He was expecting vanilla.
Banana. Actually, I was
banana.
I was expecting the banana I had been drinking, and then I took a sip and I went, "Oh my gosh!"
Oh yeah, I was wondering what that was about earlier.
That's
his face.
It's kind of a sour flavor.
How do you drink that?
Well, I don't. This is not one that I normally would have picked up.
Select Club. Canadian whiskey. That's why.
That's
the
answer.
I couldn't have told you that you didn't like that. You actually tried that sometime back.
Did I?
Yeah. And you did not like it then either.
I still don't.
But this bag's cool.
Yeah, that's really the whole reason I got it. It was in the little the bargain bin.
Cool.
We now know why it was there.
You can hold your
yeah. We now know why it was in the bargain bin.
You can put your tobacco in here when you're going to roll your own cigarettes. It'll be good.
I'm not going to do that. I don't know what I could put in here, to be honest. I don't have anything. Coins, maybe. I could put some coins in there, maybe.
Yeah.
The kids might like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
but that's a cool bag.
That's something you want the kids to walk around.
Well, I mean, they don't have any ideas. Fine.
Look what my daddy gave me.
They're gonna get out, say their mantra. I'm smart, beautiful, strong. Look at this. I can drink.
Back when you were a kid, you didn't have a Crown Royale bag from your parents.
Actually, you know what I had?
Oh, we had the purple.
True statement. I had a skull can. I kept like coins and things in it, and that's actually was one of the. And so looking back, probably not the best decision, but
yeah.
but that's what I had. So
Yeah,
is what it is. What?
Stacy said had heard that a lot of kids had bought tickets, or a lot had bought tickets, and then chose not to go. And daughters were good not going. I think that's because there has been a misunderstanding.
Holds a knife. That's a good idea. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there you go.
ADD.
I didn't understand it.
I
at
neither
first.
did I. I'm glad you figured that out. Oh,
but-
it works.
It works perfect. That's
A number
perfect
of people are under the impression that she was telling people who to vote for, and as I understand it, I may be wrong. I didn't actually catch this either way, but I heard a counter story of she told everybody they should vote, even though she was endorsing Kamala, they should still go vote for whoever they wanted to.
That was
That
actually
was
from
a-
our daughter.
yeah,
who
that's
told us
correct.
this.
So
our
that was
daughter
100% correct.
is a huge Swiftie. Like, she's going to Indiana in November to go see her concert for like the 3rd time or something like that.
Fourth,
So,
fifth.
I don't even know how many times.
Yeah.
So she's been to a few of her concerts.
She's been to more
She
Taylor
loves
Swift than Hunter Hayes.
her stuff. But yeah, we were talking about this the other day, and her and her best friend were talking about how they're not.
It's bad if you're turning it down.
They're
Carry on, Jamie.
they are definitely voting Republican themselves. She was clear about that, and that people got upset because Taylor said she was endorsing Kamala. Oh my gosh, you guys are distracting me.
Don't be
Just
distracted.
keep going.
So
This is live.
Ignore us. That wasn't worth anything. That was nasty.
So
Oh,
she said
I'm
that
drinking
even
another Liz.
though they were not happy that she had said she
don't
was
worry about
endorsing
it.
Kamala, that she did tell everybody that while she's endorsing Kamala to go out and do their own research and vote for who they wanted to vote for.
Yes,
she
very
wasn't
much so.
telling people to vote for Kamala. She wasn't telling people to vote for Trump. She didn't say who they should vote for.
Correct.
Just do your own research and vote, which I like that message.
I will tell you, when you get to the stardom of a Taylor Swift, you things get twisted that you say all the time. And I will say she has done a very good job of, look, I'm not going to push my thoughts and beliefs on you. I'm going to promote my music. I'm going to be who I am. Yes, this is who I am supporting personally, but regardless of who you're supporting, go vote, have your voice heard.
Yeah.
And I will give her props on that.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Taylor said maybe I'll see your daughter.
Yeah. I guess she's gonna go to the concert in Indiana.
Taylor,
as
we'll
well.
get you guys to
It's where we're
exchange
from, so
numbers
it
with
makes
each other. I don't know how many people you're going to have going out there, but you guys might have a nice little mob together if between her friends and your friends and
Yeah,
you and
Grace
her.
has got like
Oh, great. A
I'd say
bunch of
people
female
are-
Swifties in one place. God
Mhm.
bless
Well,
them.
as a dad, don't you feel better knowing that they're all together
Well,
in a
100%.
large group instead
Well,
of?
and I know my daughter Carrie, so
I mean, they're going to have enough soy boys
They're gonna
out
be
there.
fine.
So
Yeah.
they're going to have enough soy boys out there trying to get their numbers. So it's better to have.
Taylor's like,
Numbers.
yeah, whoop, whoop, I'm in. Yeah, let's go.
She knows what's up.
Yeah.
Jesse said we need to try Mitchell and Sons Green Spot Irish Whiskey.
Ooh.
Have you tried it?
Now, do you
Have you
care?
tried this?
I have not. Do you care for Irish whiskey?
Mm,
I was going to say, you're not really a huge Irish
it's
whiskey
okay.
fan.
It's
He probably likes it better than Kentucky.
Okay, let's just be be honest. If it's not from Texas, Chuck doesn't like
that's not true. That is not 100%.
it.
Most of the whiskeys that come from outside of Texas, I'm not a fan of. But Scotch is not a bourbon, and
That's
Texas
true.
makes a nice bourbon.
Right.
And for all of the snobs out there that say Texas doesn't make a bourbon because it wasn't made in Kentucky,
It's true.
you're wrong.
Nope.
There's a certain there's
Flat out, you're
51%. Well,
I know.
you are. Look, I got a chart up here. It tells you how to make bourbon.
I know.
And the
It's,
best bourbons are made in Kentucky.
51% corn mash, and it's got to be done in oak barrels. I mean, that's how you make bourbon. And Texas does it better, I believe, because I mean, I'm not going to go New York on you say it's because of the water. You're using the wrong water.
You're using the wrong water.
No, I think it's just because Texas ages everything so much faster because of the heat, and it's a lot hotter here. And you have, it's hot and it's in a warehouse, and that's where it's aging.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Whether it's Texas, whether it's Kentucky, whatever, every state has good whiskeys. I even like some Irish whiskeys. I like Scotch, depending on the Scotch. But for me, as you well know, it has to have some kind of flavor. I don't want it to just burn. I want there to be a flavor. I want it to taste really good. Iron Root is great, is what I'm hearing. Iron Root is great. I don't know. I've never had Iron Root.
Oh, you got a comment?
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking they paid to subscribe.
Well, I'm not in subscriber anymore.
Oh.
I turned off the subscriber.
Wow.
So
all the ones that paid to subscribe that were there, but they didn't use that feature to be able
they
to
didn't talk. Yeah. Yeah. At one point I had 5 subscribers in there, and not one of them commented.
And Jesse did point out a good point here. Irish isn't Scotch necessarily. And I haven't looked into the requirements to be a Scotch, obviously an Irish whiskey is going to be an Irish whiskey from Ireland, I would imagine. Ireland, I wanted this one to be open.
To say
Jesus,
that for the
hang
next
on.
one.
I said we were going on a run.
Weren't we doing 2 episodes tonight? Thank God.
Yeah. No, my the whole idea here was I wanted this one open because
He just wanted to drink it.
I want to have something I can drink through the week, and I'm sending you back home with that banana and that vanilla. So
I wonder if I'll put those together if that's a banana split.
Oh, Jesse's gonna send us a bottle. Jesse, P.O. Box 602, Lytle, Texas.
God bless you.
Taylor.
Let me go ahead and type that in there.
Taylor, we're not tasting all these. I have work tomorrow. Big eyes. AC, if you're listening, I need you there at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
I might be a little late to the office.
So going back to the conversation I tried to have before, he's like, "Oh, it's content. Save it for later."
Yeah.
So he told you what he did to the computer, right? And what happened to your episode?
Erased everything we had ever done in the history of time. Yes.
Which was okay for most of it, but that included.
God bless you, Jamie. Thanks.
But,
Your guys' stuff is so crap. It's fine that you erased
Well, it's already up. That's
It's
what
already
you
up.
said. Yeah.
It's
Hey, Matt.
the stuff. Oh, hi, you're home. It's the stuff that you guys recorded at Black Creek.
What's up, superstar?
Yeah.
It didn't get posted.
Right.
That's all gone now.
Yeah.
So
I
we
wondered.
So there were like 2 episodes.
That's why we went 3 eepisodes,
Yeah.
3 weeks without an episode.
Because
Because
there were
all
some
the ones that would have posted got erased.
deleted.
Doyle rules.
Doyle, this is what happens when production leaves town.
I've decided I need to
Yes.
get a thumb drive or an external hard drive to save all this stuff because Reaper, the program that I use to do all the editing on the software, makes duplicates and duplicates of the duplicates. So every time I cut, glue, whatever, I get another duplicate that's in there, and that is what ate up all of my space. And I saw that I had like 13 gigabytes of space.
You want me to buy a couple external hard drives for us?
Just a thumb drive should be enough.
Okay.
Like a
I
terabyte.
can get that.
Yeah,
That's easy.
terabyte thumb drive, and then we'll have plenty of space for everything.
This is what happens when our producers leave, though. All of a sudden, we erase the entire show.
We're recording all of this, Taylor. The whole thing's being recorded.
Yeah, so we did 3 episodes, but the problem is if he erased the other 2 before they got posted, it didn't do us any good.
Yeah. Yes. No.
The usual clue that we're recording is welcome back to another episode. Speaking of which,
I'm Chuck Weimer. I'm Chief Atkinson.
for those that are listening on streaming and you guys have no idea what's going on,
They're
in the
like,
chat,
why are we listening to this?
we do want to thank our sponsor, Black Creek Bar and Grill. They've been a wonderful host for us, and we're going to be back out there again soon. But we just want to thank them, and so as you're listening, you're going to hear that ad. And those that are here, you just know that we talked about them. That's it. We thank Black Creek Bar and Grill because they're doing a fantastic job for us, even through all the nonsense that they're going through.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Stacy, he did delete the deleted stuff. That's one of the first things I asked him was, did you check your recycle bin?
Yes,
Make sure you didn't delete that. He had deleted that too.
So you deleted it and then deleted it.
Yeah, I was on a roll.
I was in that delete mode, and I was just like, yes, take it.
Yeah.
Delete.
It's like, you're not welcome here anymore. You're 18. Get out of my house.
That's a callback, boys and girls. Go check the last episode.
Game changer, you have backups. I don't have any backups.
No, it's because I was gone.
Well, we had backups, and then you deleted those.
He deleted the backups to the backups.
That's right. God bless you. For those that are listening, we record 2 or 3 episodes in an evening, and so then they get edited and they get posted and all that. Yes, Buffalo Trace, that's where we're at. So we did the Crown Vanilla. We did the last episode. We did Old Smoky Tennessee Banana.
By the way,
yes,
Buffalo Trace ain't that bad, and it's a Kentucky.
I'll be honest. We're so many whiskeys in, I couldn't tell you.
Well, I did say
Seems fine.
go a little light on that banana. We got more coming, but nah.
I went 3 deep on that banana, and that got me. So, but so if you're following us for the first time, that's how we do it. We actually will record. If you're watching on TikTok or one of our lives, we record 2 or 3 in a night, and then we will post them over the next couple of weeks, unless Chuck deletes them.
Yeah, and we do that because everybody's schedules are so busy.
Insane.
That
All right.
Speaking, we have to schedule more.
We gotta,
Let me just defend myself
Yeah, while you're in the
for
corner,
a moment.
go ahead and rope a dope right here, Muhammad.
Let me just
Muhammad Ali.
give myself a little bit of a defense here. We went 15 episodes before I made that mistake, so anybody else wants to start editing, you guys are more than welcome to.
Just chime in anytime you want.
No,
Just
I already have
roll
enough
up,
jobs.
roll up a chair, and I'll show you how to
Stacy's
do it.
like, and Chuck deletes. We had all these, and Chuck deletes.
Stacey said originally, it's not in the clouds.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Chuck deletes. That's my new saying. When guys are like, I can't find my helmet, Chuck deletes. Chief, the engine won't run. Chuck deletes.
Oh, the people listening.
You can put on a shirt.
Yes.
Put on a
Michelle.
shirt.
So the last episode went political. This one's just off the rails. It's just nowhere.
Well, we've got you liquored up. We're good to go now. Michelle says Control Alt Delete.
And that sums
No.
up Rhythm and Rescue.
No, Michelle. It was a little bit more dedicated than that. I actually went to the trash can, right-clicked, empty recycle bin. Are you sure you want to delete these 745
Absolutely.
items?
Yep.
Yes. And I watched it as it went.
Taylor said the egg was thrown.
It took so long. It took so long for that thing to burn out, and the cancel option was up there the whole time.
You never once.
And
It didn't cross your mind that this might be a bad idea.
it did. Right as I thought, maybe I should double check and make sure. And I thought, no, maybe I should check. And I went and I clicked cancel right as it finished.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering how this podcast got on the air, I'm going to tell you right now, we don't really care what you think. My buddy and I got microphones, and all of a sudden they gave us a podcast. I don't know what happened.
Taylor said he was committed. Oh,
Oh,
dig
goodness.
yourself deeper. Oh no, there's no digging. I was the one that
I
had
could
to.
just envision you watching that far. Like, did I hit something wrong? Where? That's a lot of gigs.
You want to see the face? You want to see the face as it was going?
Sure.
You're missing it. You turned away.
Multiple expressions.
Maybe I should double check that. That doesn't seem right. Wait. Oh, shoot. Yep.
Let me go check. It's gone. It's all done.
Well, that was fun.
Joey said rhythm and non-recovery.
Rhythm and non-recovery. That's our new name.
Yes.
Taylor, I would love it if you took a screenshot of that image and just threw up
Oh,
that. Just
just
threw up that
spinning
circle
in
on there.
Chuck's computer. Wait a minute.
We will post that.
Hang on.
We will post that on
Oh,
Facebook.
man.
We might put it on a reel. We'll put it on TikTok. Yeah.
Yes.
And this
Yeah.
is why we don't let Jamie leave very often. This very reason. Jamie would have been like, "Did you double check that?"
Yes.
Well, yes, of course I double checked that.
Are those episodes up already? Did you edit them? No. Well, you better stop it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Hang on, wait. Hit the cancel.
Michelle says check the amount of Wi-Fi used during that time frame.
I will tell you, all 5 of our listeners were very disappointed there were not episodes for 3 weeks. So disappointed not one of them hit you up, Taylor. Not one of them hit you up and was like, "Where are you guys at?"
4 of them are in this room.
I don't care what anybody else says. This is the greatest podcast
man.
ever. I'm just gonna say it right now.
We have fun. That's the important thing, and you never know if there's going to be an episode.
Look, Jason hasn't commented the entire time, and he is laughing right now. His face is just contorted with what's
Who was
going
it
on.
that was above that? That's not a.
Thank you, everyone in that room, for keeping the community safe. Jesus loves you, and so do I. God bless you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
She said she thought we were busy. That's why.
Oh,
We just thought you were busy. We thought you weren't creating content.
Oh man.
Michelle says you're awesome, Greg. Taylor,
Well, God bless you, Michelle.
next time,
Tell my
Taylor,
wife.
feel free to send a message
I've already noticed.
over on. You can DM it directly to Rhythm and Rescue. Greg has access to it. He probably doesn't know how to log in anymore, but he has access. We'll.
I do have access. I've seen it. I don't know where it's at.
And she's
To
pointing
be fair, you had to
she's
you had to
pointing
ask
out.
your wife 3 times for the password to log in tonight.
She
I know.
she just said I talked to you 4 times in those weeks. I don't know if that's
How was I supposed to know? She said.
is she admitting that she only talks to you once a week, or
No, that's a minimum. We
Okay,
make a
okay.
rule. We try to talk to all of our family members once a week.
how was
at
I
least.
supposed to know?
Yeah.
You weren't, Taylor. Nobody knew. I was the only one that knew, and I had to let everybody else know, and it was a very humbling experience.
When he
on my
let me
part.
know, I was like,
So
It's true. It's
well,
true.
I was in Colorado, and he says, "You want to hear the bad news?" So right away, I'm like, "Oh crap! What happened now?" I accidentally deleted all of those. Which, I mean, it was bad, but not like. I mean, you're
Yeah.
out of state, and someone's like, "Want to hear the bad news?"
you're sitting over there going, oh my gosh, he did something that's going to get
Yes.
us like taken off radio or
You know what's funny
No.
though?
Or the house was taken.
something
Or
was
something
horribly
happened
wrong.
to Matthew.
No, I deleted 3 weeks of
I sent it better to Greg.
podcast.
I sent it better to Greg. I said, "You want to hear the good news?" Or no, I said, "I'm okay." You
Yeah,
wanna hear
I'm
that?
okay. You want to hear the bad news? Wait a minute. Wait, why are you starting that way? Hang on.
For the record, that's always how his texts start to me after he's injured himself.
Okay, hang on, wait. So I know that my firefighters are horrible about like they will immediately text her and be like, "Hey, just so you know," right? Yeah, don't do that, right? So if I have injured myself on a scene,
That's giving her time to sit down.
you're right. So I start with, "Honey, I'm fine," but in case you get a text, I may or may not have been trapped in a fire. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh
I'm
no,
texting
you
you.
didn't tell me that.
Well, I tried to avoid it until Lucas opened his mouth in the meeting. That happened.
They're saying, "Just so you know."
Yeah.
And what that does is that gives her time to make her way over to a soft surface that she can fall into in the event that it goes any way other than it has in the past.
Yes, exactly. Which it
Bye,
never will.
Taylor.
See you later, Taylor. Thanks
Where's
for
she
having-
going?
Well, she said she's got to go. She wasn't.
You don't
very-
have to go, Taylor. Come on.
She wasn't very forthcoming with why.
Please. You and I have run on 3 hours sleep each. You're fine. You don't get up for like another 3 hours. You're fine.
Stacy.
I'm just saying. Okay.
Oh, work.
Mama said
Some-
you have to go to bed. Bye, Taylor.
Sometimes I'm not
She
sure
has
if
to go to
she's
work.
yelling
She
at
works
us.
overnight.
No, you
Oh,
told her before to do
Coded.
that.
No, I know I did.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I'm not sure sometimes if she's yelling or if it's just
Dude, she
so
does
I
all
can
caps
see.
so we can see it.
so I can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, because we're old.
But she said that before, and you told her before to
Yeah.
get with. Yeah.
So Stacy said,
Chuck
"Just
deletes.
so you know, dot dot dot,
Chuck
dot
deletes.
dot dot, Chuck deletes."
That's the shirt.
I'm going to start every conversation with, "Hey, Chuck, you deleted anything today?" No?
Golly.
Good. Let's start there.
Wait, not only was the files for the podcast deleted,
Oh no.
he also deleted all the live recording that we did at the fire department show.
So you just deleted the computer. You just were like, "Yeah, files. Who needs them? They're overrated.
What does this button do?
This looks like a big red button. Let me touch that. It says don't touch. Let me touch it."
I did the Homer Simpson. Ooh, red button. Do not press. Oh,
This is
Whoops.
the greatest podcast we've ever done so far. I'm just going to tell
this
you.
is fun. Yeah, this is fun. I'm afraid that it has to do with the 3-week departure, but we're not going to test that theory.
No, I don't want to do that again.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
Been too
So
long.
We'll
yeah,
make sure to get some more scheduled before y'all leave.
But you were asking.
Michelle just goes, Greg, you're awesome. Thank you. I'm assuming that's the laugh. I have a story about that. So me and Katie used to go to comedy shows all the time, and we used to love comedy shows. And I would sit. We still love comedy shows. You're correct. We would sit in the very, 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 very back because Greg has a very. You already know where this is going. Greg has a very.
Gotta check to see if I clipped on that. I might have.
Greg has a very distinct sound.
He's got that booming Santa Claus laugh.
We went to a comedy show one time. This is probably one of the last ones we went to. We went to a comedy show one time where I swear to goodness, we spent 10 minutes where the comedian was laughing at my laugh and I could not stop. And he was like, dude, I'm taking you on tour with me. Like, just so I can have that laugh.
Is it where the teacher
Where the teacher
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right.
So
Michelle, thank you. God bless you.
let me tell you,
Tell
if
me.
you like comedy so much,
Yes, sir.
they do comedy at what's the one in New Braunfels? We had three places. Lucy Cooper's
Okay.
in New Braunfels.
Yeah.
They have a room off to the side, and they do comedy there.
Oh, I love comedy rooms.
Yeah. So, I think we all ought to get together one day and go out to the Mothership
Absolutely.
in Austin.
Yes.
I think that'd be fantastic. That's Joe Rogan's place. Who
Now, does he
we're
ever-
trying to be like. We're trying to have.
Does he ever go there?
Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's there all the time.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah, with like whenever he has guests come in to do the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, the Joe Rogan Experience. That's
Yeah,
the name of
the
the title. I don't
Experience,
want anybody to be confused, but whenever he has people come in, sometimes he'll like, hey, let's go over to the Mothership, and they'll basically crash it, and they'll get up and do a set or two.
I love that.
So like Bert Kreischer's gone on there, and just
that guy.
yeah,
Right?
right.
If you haven't watched Bert Kreischer, you need to go check it out.
Who's that Italian?
Don't let the kids be in the room.
The Italian dude. What's his name?
That's not very
there's
helpful.
so many of
That's
them.
not very
Right?
helpful.
But yeah, there's a bunch of
Are you
comedians.
talking the tall, skinny dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who actually leans into the action.
Yes.
He's like, let me
Let me tell you about.
my father.
What is his name?
My
Oh God.
father said.
I love that guy.
That guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anybody who's listening that knows who we're talking about will know who we're talking
Help
about.
us out. Yeah. Absolutely.
But
Because the
yeah.
producers are no help whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, not this
And I
time.
can't Google the Italian comedian.
The Italian guy. Just Google him. What are you doing? It's the Italian guy.
Go on Netflix and go to stand-up comedy and just kind of scroll until you see the dude with the black hair, skinny face, and tell me what the name is on there, and I'll tell you you're probably right.
He knocks everybody in the crowd. Like he's.
No, I'm thinking of a different guy.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He's just got this really, really sharp kind of punctuating thing that he says whenever he's doing his whenever he's doing his sketches.
Yeah.
And he's really, really emphasizes the word.
Very Italian.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you talk to him, like he's ordering food at a restaurant, he's probably like, "Yeah, let me get the fish and chips." And you know,
Sebastian.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Yes, that's it,
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
yep.
There you go.
So
I Googled it. I said,
I told you it's not hard to find.
comedian.
It didn't come up for me. I tried.
Welcome to the show. This is it. I don't know what you signed up for, but this is it.
She said it didn't come up for me. I said that's what she said.
Oh, she's Louise.
Shit. Hey, Stacy says we know it's not Matt Rife. Yeah, that's true. He's very not Italian.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
He's
though.
very white.
Kudos to Matt Rife
Although-
because he made his initial bones off of doing crowd work, and then he did an entire Netflix special. No crowd work.
I will tell you that Matt
He did
Rife.
another one was all crowd work.
Yeah. So of course that's what he's known for. But I will tell you that guy is actually a very comical genius
Mhm.
off stage. And this is not uncommon in comedians, but off stage he is very business. He is very like
Yeah.
cut and dry, not very, and I don't want to say not very funny. Obviously, he's still Matt, but he's very just like, meticulous. Same's true with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, who is known to be a cut up and a ham and all that stuff, off screen, that dude is very like.
Well, you can tell based off the commercials that he's in.
Yes.
Everything is business oriented for him.
Very much so.
It's hey, kudos to you, man. You haven't clipped in a while.
I do my best. I've learned that when I laugh, I have to get away from the microphone.
Well, I've noticed that when you lean in, I start to get a little nervous. So,
well, you told me I wasn't talking across the microphone, and I was like, okay, I know how to do that.
You're doing exactly what I asked you to do, but I just have to make sure that I made the settings right.
But now, when I go to get loud or stupid, I have to get back.
Yeah. It looks like Jesse's probably gone.
Jesse, where did you go? He probably had to go to bed.
Yeah, probably. But
it's 9 o'clock at night.
Jesse reached out to me not too long ago about how to get the setup kind of like, I guess, the way we have it, which is
crazy.
I guess we're doing all right, but
dude, I did his podcast, and he had like cameras and like a full like 32 channel board, and I'm like, well, my guy runs it off a computer.
He's like, not like your
channel. Like, what are you doing?
Not like your trailer park show, Chuck. My sound quality's better, yo. No.
But then he's reaching out to us, and when he hit me up, I was like, talk to Chuck. I don't have any idea. I just show up and talk in a microphone. That's all I do. I'm a clanging monkey.
Now I know how Jamie feels. Having to rope these cats together. Come here.
Anybody who's never been to one of Chuck's shows, they need to know that Jamie actually runs the entire show. from her iPad.
Speaking of shows, and you brought it up on the last episode, and I said that we were going to push it to this one. So some of the things that we've been doing, we've of course we've been running like chickens with our head cut off.
Absolutely.
We did Pipe Creek Dance Hall, where we shot the music video for Don't Ask Me to Dance. That's available on YouTube.
That was in Pipe Creek?
That was at Pipe Creek Dance Hall.
I did not realize that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm very good friends with the Pipe Creek guys.
One of the reasons you might not notice is because they let us do it inside the dance hall, not out in the yard.
Yes.
So that we appreciate Pipe Creek for that. They provided a fantastic venue. We actually got a little bit of the history and the knowledge of that building,
which is pretty amazing.
They have water run off the sides, and the air blows through that water as it's falling down, and that's what cools it off. That's the air conditioning.
That is the air conditioning. Yes, it's an amazing facility.
To be fair, they also supplement with some modern day air conditioners.
Yes.
But that place cooled down in probably about. It only took probably about an hour.
Yeah.
But that's an hour after not being open.
Correct.
Like just baking. And it's wood, so it bakes.
Yes, but they try to keep it dark during the day.
Yeah.
So it tries to keep out some of the heat. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's like a sauna though.
Yes, very much so.
That wood just bakes you when you go in there. So we're loading in and we're just like, and then
But within an hour,
by the time we were ready to start starting the video shoot, which if you see any part where I'm kind of dancing in the middle of the floor, that was before we took the stage. And
before people started showing up,
before anybody showed up, and by that time it was already cool. And so that's really cool venue. We went back out to Corky's in Odessa. Thank you, Corky's, for all the fun times that we had out there. We probably won't be able to go back out there just because it's not financially viable for us or for them. So I do want to give them a thank you. Corky's. They brought us out there 3 or 4 times. And we kind of met numbers each time. The first time they paid us at the rate that I asked for. The second time we modified that rate and did a percentage of the bar, and we still got pretty close to that number. The third time we got to that number. Unfortunately, this last time there was a whole bunch of other things going on.
Yeah.
And it ends up, on those random nights where it's just not going to happen, you got Carly Pierce down the road or whoever.
Yeah, they had Carly Pierce. There was a fair going on. There was like all sorts of stuff.
And you can't plan for that stuff when it's 6 months in advance, which is when we're booking the place, because you don't know what's going to be happening that night. And
no one does.
So it's not financially going to be viable for either of us, because we got to make the 6-hour trip out there, get a hotel, and hope that we
are the only show in town.
Well, but we got to hope that we crack the bar enough that we make everything that we were trying to make that night. So
Texas is a unique place in the fact that, so like in Indiana, it's not okay. So we went to Laredo, and like Laredo, yes. So
Don't let
so
her
Laredo,
go.
as big as it is, right?
Sound like Robin Williams. Right?
There's nothing for 3 hours away from Laredo. There's nothing,
Yeah.
right? Odessa's the same way. For as big as Odessa is, I mean, I'm not talking it's a metropolis, but
Well,
it's a decent size. But there's nothing like. So my point is,
The problem
if there's
is
three
that
or
there
four,
is.
if there's
Right.
3 or 4 shows or 3 or 4
Yeah.
things going on
In Odessa and
The
Midland.
problem-
in Odessa and Midland,
Yeah, that's the
it
problem.
takes away from because there's nobody coming from the outside because you get outside of there and it's desert.
Right.
There is no other
Yeah,
population.
you got
Right.
all the way from Austin out that or Austin, right? No, not Austin. Wherever it is we cross through. The last major city we cross through before we get to Odessa is basically small
Yes.
towns. No real.
Yeah,
No,
Carville's kind of the last big city.
Yeah, the bars themselves are
Yeah.
about the size of my house.
Correct.
You know, they're
Yes.
not, and we don't live in a mansion or anything. So, when you're driving out that way, you're just like, okay, cool. It should be pretty busy. Like there's nothing else to do here. But you also have Midland, you have Permian Basin, that entire area. They have a bunch of small towns where they have an establishment that's big enough to fit. And then down the road, they had some tribute band to something else.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, at another bar down the road.
And it was an
Mhm.
80s
Oh,
rock
wow.
thing. So there was like 3 or 4 different events going on that same night. We didn't basically here. The way it worked was we had a certain number and then 10% of the bar. And basically our goal is to crack on that 10% of the bar. We want to pull in another $400.
Which we have all the other times.
All the other times we had this time, there just wasn't enough people and we ended up making like $50.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's not financially viable for us, not financially viable.
And that's not
for
their
him,
fault. There's
'cause-
no crack
Well,
on them.
Yeah,
That's
well,
just
the only thing I would say is their fault, and this has been the issue I've been having with a few other venues, is they're not advertising.
Which
Yeah, I saw
brings
that.
us to the topic of the night.
yeah. Let's do it
So,
because I've seen that out there a couple
Jamie,
times.
this is all yours.
so it was mostly because of the place we were at this last weekend.
Trying to catch up to Greg here.
So we drove all the way out to Navasota.
I wasn't
Place we've already
pointing.
played at once before. Had a good turnout there. They'd advertised there before. We didn't have any problems. This time, they didn't mention a thing about live music on Saturday.
Not once.
They posted about their drink specials earlier in the day, and then that was it. I had sent them the invite on Facebook to be co-host of the event. I had sent him the flyer. Granted, I sent the flyer for that day during the day that day, but they'd also been tagged in our monthly schedule, tagged in our weekly schedule. I mean, you guys see how we do it.
Oh yeah,
So there's no reason that they couldn't have at least shared
of course.
that we were coming.
Yeah.
There was no reason for them to not even say in the drink specials, oh yeah, by the way, live music tonight. I don't even care if you said the name.
That's
Just
all
say
they
live
needed.
music,
Live music.
because
Yeah.
that's going to bring people in.
Because that's what people are coming for.
Right.
Hey, I don't have to worry about is there sound.
I had
There's
a
music.
thought. I had a thought that, Jamie, we should get one of those flags ourselves, one of those live music flags. And then wherever we go, we just
put it
stake
outside,
that
yeah.
outside in their front
That
lawn.
might have-
Like a
to-
guide on.
Well, you know how you
big banners. That
yeah,
say,
you drive
like,
by them and you'll see cold beer,
Yeah.
food truck, whatever. You'll see something in those kind of like feather banners.
Yeah.
And they make them that say live music, and it doesn't have to be Chuck Weimer Band. It doesn't have to be anything like that. Just could say live music.
But honestly,
Yeah.
where we were at, I don't think that would have helped. Because
I don't
this
know,
really
there's-
was so far
There
out
was
in
a
the middle
lot of people
wow.
driving down that road.
but it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere
Yeah,
as well.
but that's their people.
Right. So that's my big thing is venues need to do their part.
Right.
Mhm.
They think that the artist is going to bring everybody in, but you know what? Our reach doesn't matter if you have 17,000, 20,000 followers. Facebook,
That's spread out across the world.
but not
Exactly.
not just
That's
spread out
exactly
across the
right.
world, but even just Facebook and Instagram and everybody, they don't show it to everybody.
Yeah.
They don't show it to people. I could do a targeted ad for that specific area, and I will still have people in California
I
getting
didn't
the
ever see
ad,
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
or people who say they didn't get it.
Yeah.
But so it's messed up. They can't expect just the artist to advertise. Venues have to as well, because their followers and their people that go to their bars are going to see, oh yeah, there's gonna be live music. Let's go.
Well, and one of the things I've noticed with social media is a lot of it now is you'll get the likes and the shares, but that doesn't translate into people coming out.
Mm-mm.
No. Not even a little bit.
And you'll get the interested. But for us, sometimes the interested are in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and it's like, I'm glad you're interested, but unfortunately,
You're not going to
show up,
make
and I
the
know
show,
it.
right? Yeah.
So we're looking at probably a 10% margin of the audience that we're pushing out to on Facebook or wherever it is we're doing our ad. And then even with that 10%, there's no guarantee that it's going to be 10% that's in that area.
Right.
Now, the venue, I'm fairly certain most of these venues don't have followers in Scotland.
Right. The venues are going to have more of their local
or
followers.
any of the Nordic countries, right? So when they push it out and they get 10%, it's 10% of the people,
So the people
in
from
their area.
Iceland aren't coming?
No, but that's the thing where if they just supplement, but they don't even have to do a paid ad. All they have to do is just say, hey, we have live music. They have people, number one, that are going to go to the venue page and see what's going on this weekend.
Right.
Oh, nothing's going on.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go to this town that's not too far away.
Yeah.
And then, but what they would prefer is we're going out to go see live music. I don't even care who it is.
Look, there's live music over here.
Right.
Yeah. So they're 2 miles away.
Well, and again,
they're 50 miles away, you know?
You go back to the Odessa Midland thing, and it's like, if somebody is like, oh, I want to go out in Odessa, if you put there's live music and they want live music, right? There's not another live music venue. I mean, there might be one, 30 miles away over in Odessa or in Midland or whatever, but there's not another one. You're not going to drive, and this is the thing that gets me, right? Because in Indiana, if I didn't like what was happening in Bloomington, I would drive an hour to Indianapolis, right? Yeah. And if I didn't like that, I'd drive another hour to Fort Wayne or Lafayette, whatever. And so Texas isn't.
But you're
like
going to drive an hour one direction. You're not going to be going 1 hour here and then 1 hour there and then 1 hour there. I'm going to go try this place.
But in Texas, you might only have a choice to drive an hour in one direction because the other direction you're in a desert. So if you would just if the venues would just publish, hey, we've got live music, again, you don't even have to say it's Chuck Weimer. Although if you do, by the way, that's going to pull people in because people know who Chuck Weimer is. This guy's awesome. But you don't even have to say it's Chuck Weimer. If you just say we've got live music, people are going to show up.
Hold on, I got to stop you right there.
Good.
Wait, hold on. We have royalty is in the building, y'all.
You're thinking.
Alex.
Oh, not me.
Alex Young, one of our near and dear friends. I love her so much. And depending on your tolerance for debauchery, that'll depend on whether or not you want to follow her on Facebook. But she is one of our favoritist people in the world. You remember
She's the reason fire in your eyes.
Can I finish
Sorry.
what I'm saying? If you remember the album
Alex, you are not a saint.
The Road Never Ends. So if you remember the Road Never Ends, it's got Fire in Your Eyes. It's got
Desert Rose.
Desert Rose.
Whiskey, Texas, and You.
I'm thinking of the love
Dancing
song.
in the Rain. Restless Love.
The love song. No, that's not
Better Than I Am.
Better Than I Am. There you go. So there you go.
I just named your whole album for you.
I was going to say there's only 6 on the album.
Yeah. She named them all because she didn't want to wait for me to figure it out. But Alex Young, I do not sound like that. Alex Young is the reason that all that happened. Alex Young is the reason that Fire in Your Eyes actually got recorded.
Love that song.
So Alex Young came to
songs.
us one day because she was booking us at a place in Fredericksburg that no longer does. Well, they don't even open their doors anymore because they all shut down.
Stacey Dean's on there.
Stacey Dean jumped.
Stacey.
Hi, Stacey.
But the place in Fredericksburg that shall not be named because the new management, who was not nearly as good as Alex when she was manager, they didn't like me so much, and that's okay.
What? Somebody didn't like you?
All that said, Alex said,
Sorry, go ahead.
You have to find them. I mean, the place is closed down.
Oh, fair enough. That's what happens when they get rid of Alex. That's what happens when they get rid of Alex.
But Alex said, hey, I really want you to record that song. And I said, I don't know. I wasn't even supposed to write that song.
Right.
It just she's like, no, I like that song. I want you to record it. Okay. So we recorded the song, and then Jamie was like, hey, you should probably play it a little bit. And so
since you recorded it, you might as well play it.
So I started playing it, and then my producer last cycle decided, hey, this is the one we're pushing to radio. I'm sorry, who did I say? Publisher?
Producer.
Yeah. Oh, producer. Put my promoter,
Hi, Jamie.
Dave Smith. I know who it is. I just got my words mixed up. Do it sober. Calm down.
It does.
But Dave Smith said, "Hey, this is the one I want to push." And I said, "Dave, really? Because we got an entire 12-song album, and that one's been out for over a year." He said, "I want to push this song." And I said, "Okay, all right." And Jamie said, because Jamie's the final arbiter on all that, she said, "Okay." And we went number 6 with the song that Alex said we really ought to record.
Mhm.
So we love Alex with all of our hearts.
So what you're saying is we listen to Alex.
Well,
God bless you, Alex. Great job.
we listen to Dave. We love Alex.
There you go. Fair enough. I had a
And
quick question.
there is an interesting story of how you become Alex's friend, true friend,
yeah, no,
which we will not talk about on the air.
no. Well, I'll tell you later.
We started with debauchery, so I don't want to know. We're still family friendly.
That's an after hours.
Yeah, it's an after hours show, right?
conversation.
So
Yeah.
I had a question over here. Where is Divine Fire and Rescue?
In
Divine
Texas. I mean, it's kind of in the name.
Just a short skip and a jump outside of Castroville.
35 minutes south of San Antonio Riverwalk,
8
down
miles.
I-35.
8 miles down the road from Lytle, Texas.
That's right. 8 miles down the road from Lytle, Texas, home of legendary Texas country music artist Chuck Weimer.
And for those that don't understand, this is the radio host's voice, and this is what he was trained to do in college.
Long before college started, this at 14 years old. At 14 years old, Greg Davis was born and on the air of Bloomington's B97, today's best music, WBWB. That was a long time ago. And now all of a sudden, I'm a fire chief in Divine, Texas, where no one knows where
We are not supported or sponsored by WBWB.
No, they don't even know I'm still doing a microphone.
Do they still exist?
They do, very much so.
okay.
They're a mid-major, actually.
Are they really?
Yeah. They were a mid-major when I was there. They're still a
What do they
mid-major.
play?
Top 40.
Oh, cool. Send them my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm top 40 right now.
Are you? Are you?
Texas.
Okay, listen here, Beyonce.
37, baby.
God bless you. Very proud of you.
No, I just write the stuff and sing it, and then whatever happens after that, I have no part in.
You know, I will say this.
There are plenty of people who have written better music than me, that sing better than I do, that play better than I do, and their stuff is not on the radio because they don't have the right promoter.
Yeah, but
thank you, Dave Smith.
But the opposite is true. There's a lot of people out there who have written way worse stuff than you and don't sing
say
near.
that.
I'll say it as a fan. I'll say it. There is stuff on the radio that's played right now that isn't half as good as yours, but they have decent promoters who have pushed them into place. And not knocking Dave by any stretch of the imagination.
No, but I do agree with you.
But you know, I think there's some truth in the fact that having the right team around you is what's important.
Yeah. That's 100% true. Mac Damon and Stone Creek Sound. If we had never hooked up with
I love
him,
that
I
guy.
don't think we would be anywhere near where we're at right now.
I still want to go to his front porch and hang out because
It really is. A cool
he's
place.
invited me and I heard it's like magical. So.
Mark Sebi from Sebi Music Group. He was the one that first promoted our stuff, and he did a great job. We ended up getting the top 40 with him.
Mhm.
And then he's only been doing this for a few years himself, and Dave's been doing it for about 50. So
Yeah.
when we hit a certain point, we decided that we needed to go with the promoter that was going to have access to everything beyond where we were already at. So we went with Dave Smith, and Dave Smith had been doing it for 50 years. He knows all of the radio station PDs. And we went into it knowing that he's going to do a certain amount of work. He's going to work on specific stations, and there's going to be a bunch of stations he doesn't work on. And that's where Jamie comes in amongst all of her other jobs. And we need to turn it just a little bit more
I'm
to
working on
the
it.
right.
Stop telling me.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
But
Jeez.
she comes in.
It sounds like you two are married.
I'm talking about her, and she's like, "Don't stop talking about me."
Keep talking about me. I'm working on the camera.
But she works on a number of other stations amongst all the other things that she does.
Yeah.
But even with radio promotion, which is why a number of people have reached out to her to promote their radio stuff, which unfortunately would be a conflict of interest because we have a promoter, and it would be
Right.
wrong to undercut him
Of course.
and have her start doing it. And that's one of the things that we kind of talked about, and we talked with him about. And while he was cool with it, he was like, "Look, you're going to set yourself up in a certain position where it may not go as well for you as it sounds like it will in the beginning."
Right.
But the team that we put together, and then my band,
Oh, your band is phenomenal.
let me
Your
just
on-stage band is just amazing.
let me say this. Even the studio guys that we have are fantastic. I love
I wasn't
love
like I realized how it sounded the
Yeah.
second I said it,
No,
but
no.
that's not what I meant.
But you're
Studio guys
right.
are all different.
Yeah.
They're not
It's a
consistent
completely
people.
different band.
Right.
But for anybody who's listening and watching or catching this later on, I do have to point out that they're different people. The people that do my studio recordings, they are Mac Damon's people. He knows them. He has the relationships with them, and he's basically gone out and he has groomed that. And by grooming, I mean he's like chopped off the stuff he doesn't want and he kept the stuff that he does. He's groomed that group of people to a bunch of people that work well with him. They know what he wants, and they put out great quality stuff, and they do it in a fairly timely fashion.
Right.
But my stage guys, Louis Espino, Randy Garcia, Scott Rosen, we are a 4-piece band, and I am proud
Some of the best in the business.
to say
Yeah.
that I am the least talented musician
By
on that
far.
stage.
I couldn't agree more, sir.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
No, but you know what? I will tell you, like, I go
Hold on. Michelle said, yes, having the right people around you.
Jamie.
That doesn't delete stuff.
That's why you're hearing this episode. Jamie's back in town.
Thanks a lot, Michelle. No, go ahead.
But you know, your entire band is extremely talented.
They are.
You know, Louis never stops learning. He's, you know, obviously he's probably the least inexperienced of the group just because he's younger, right? And so, but he's still very talented still, and he never stops learning. He amazes me every time he plays, right? I mean, your entire band. I'm just blown away. You know, we talked about your drummer last episode. Your bass player is probably the greatest. We did the YMCA together. We're we're besties, right? So, like, your band, when I go listen to you guys play, it's not. And please don't take this the wrong way. It's not just about you. Your entire band on stage is phenomenal.
Yes.
And you know, yes, I'm a friend of yours, and yes, I like you, and yes, you're talented, and yes, I like your music and all that. But
I take no offense. I put them together.
if you sucked, I still wouldn't come. Like, I'm just being honest, right? You don't. You're very good at what you do, and so I'm very impressed.
All
by
he
you.
sees is who joined.
No, yeah. So, are you telling me the question about the National Registry? Is that what you're trying to point out? Okay, yes. Let me answer this question real quick. I got a question about what's the best way to pass the National Registry study. What you need to know is
fire department stuff.
Yeah. Well, so the National Registry is EMT, and the I will tell you, it's the hardest test I've ever taken. I've taken the ASVAB, I've taken the SATs, the ACTs. I have a degree, all these things. The hardest test I've ever taken in my entire life is the National Registry EMT test, and it's because you have to actually know the material. There's none of this like, well, I can guess B or oh, whatever. You have to know exactly what they're asking in the material. And even then, I would tell you, read the question, read all the answers, eliminate the 2 that don't belong, reread the question, reread the answers, because they might give you 4 right answers. They want to know which one's the most right, which one is the most correct.
Mm-hmm.
I literally had a question that was like,
I took it. I got a 96% my first time.
You're lying.
You're right.
I was like, there's no way. Your music career's over, sir. You're coming to the fire department. Come on. And top 40 my rear end.
What were you saying, Keita?
I don't know. It's gone.
You had a question that was like,
Oh, I had a
this is
question.
why we're married.
Sounds like you're doing production.
I'm here for you.
I had a question that was like,
Tonight on Rhythm Rescue, it's Chuck and Nikita.
pick
Go ahead.
it was like, pick all of the correct answers
Yes.
in the situation, and they gave me like 13 choices.
Yeah. And at least 8 of them were probably right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was like, this feels like a trick
Yeah.
question.
So
Yeah.
the National Registry, the only way to pass it is to know the material. So study, know the material. And then when you're taking the test, read it, read the answers, reread it, eliminate the 2 that don't belong, reread it one more time, pick the right answer. Because that is the only way to really pass that test is to, again, it's the hardest test I've ever taken in my life. And it's because they are intentionally, the thing is, when you're an EMT, I look like Trump there. I don't know what this was. When you're,
They're reading the
yeah,
cats.
you're
They're
reading
reading
the
the dogs.
and,
They're reading the
and
pets.
Kamala's no good. So So
I don't know what he's saying.
I don't know what's happening right
I don't think
now.
he does either.
You know, my crowds are huge. It's the biggest crowds ever. No one's had bigger crowds than me. All right, so
They're bigger than my hands.
they're bigger than my hand. Derailed yet again.
It really
So-
doesn't matter which side they're on because they're gonna make fun of both sides.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. We're making fun of everybody.
Yeah.
We don't care. So
True constitutionalists over here.
absolutely.
That needs to be a party.
So when you're talking about the National Registry, you got to think about this. They're training you to be an EMT. What they need you to do is to be able, with somebody's life in your hands, to think critically and to go, this might be the case or this might be the case, and then narrow it down to pick the right one. And so that the whole point of the test is to get you to think critically in an intense situation under a timeline, and that's how you pass it. So the best way to pass the test, know the information, know the material. All right. Sorry, long answer.
Is this test timed?
It is. Yeah. So you're under the gun, and
And you can have
So you
anywhere
need to be able to
between-
be a speed reader.
And you can have anywhere between 70 and 120 questions.
it varies because it's on computer, and the algorithm differs as you answer the
If
questions.
you're doing good, they give you more.
Correct.
If you're struggling, they probably give you a few less.
Well, so if you're
Uh,
struggling, they're going to nail you in the areas that you're struggling in. So let's say you're struggling in OB and female health, they're going to drill you with that. You're going to all of a sudden get 1,000 baby questions.
Female health?
Yes.
I like how you address that.
Thank you. If
What is a woman? No, female. Female's clear.
So-
It's a genetic code.
real talk, right? I had a student in our EMT class go,
Mhm.
well, you can't call a woman, and I said, then you can't treat them, because in medicine there
Sure you
are
can.
things that
Sure
are
you can.
specific.
Sure you can. You just call them female.
There are things-
You missed.
There are things that are specific to a female, and there are things. Yeah, honey,
missed
I'm
again.
going to need your help.
I did too, like 3 times.
Yeah.
It was being weird.
And if you don't hurry, we're going to be done.
Well, he's
I'm
not even
doing what I
close.
can.
So, but in our field of medicine, there are things that if I treat a female the
time
same
go.
way I would treat as a male, I will
Must
kill
be
them.
the whiskey.
Right.
And that's not good. So I have to definitively to explain to these people their biology is a real thing.
Yeah.
A female is a female and a male is a male. And if you try to confuse those two in the medical field, we will kill you accidentally.
Let me give the gender people
Yes,
a little bit of an out here.
sure.
They don't argue female is female or male is male.
Right.
They don't argue that point. While I don't agree
Subscribe
that
to,
there's
right.
multiple genders, because I think that that's a silly word just to change the
Right.
the sex of a creature. But that's my own personal take. Hey, hate me, love me, whatever, doesn't matter.
And make your own choices. We've
I'm
all
not-
been for that.
I'm not working for votes here.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
But they the folks that talk about gender and binary and trans and whatever furry, whatever it is, all this stuff that they talk about, they don't argue male versus female, because those are the only two genomes that we have.
Correct.
Right. So in that regard, the way that you addressed it, and you said the male versus female, they should be able to latch onto that pretty easily, because we're talking about a person who has the natural inclination, as long as everything is working right, to get pregnant, or the natural inclination when everything's working right to impregnate.
Correct.
Right?
The problem with the gender conversation is that gets blurred.
Right.
The problem with the gender conversation is somebody who is maybe not educated in what the gender conversation is about is going to come and say, no, I identify as a male. Well,
You can't.
you can't.
You can identify as a man. You can't identify as
Correct.
a male. Yes.
You can identify as
Unless you're talking about an envelope.
and
You can identify.
then either way you can never mind.
identify as an envelope and be a male. You can be male.
Yeah, you can be male. Yeah, postage. Anyways, but
You
that's
gotta have a stamp on your forehead, though.
that's the problem in the conversation is I've had those that are not clear on the gender
Mhm.
conversation come and tell me, why don't I identify as a male? Well, I'm sorry, but when I treat you, I have to treat you as a male. Otherwise, my treatments might very well kill you.
Right. So they're arguing sex instead of gender.
Correct.
And that's where the
That's
problem
incorrect.
comes in, is when
Yeah.
you start arguing that there are multiples or more than two sexes. Now you've gone off the rails to, all right, that's not.
You're defying science.
And I think it's a whole bunch of hoopla to suggest that gender is even a thing. But all things considered, let's go ahead and just allow the argument and say, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But you can't change the sexes.
You cannot.
There are male and female for animal, for human, for plant, for whatever. You know, there's a male female version of each one. One had, you know, like when we go to pollen or to plants, we have pollen that gets transferred over to the female portion of the plant.
Correct.
To receive that pollen and then create more grass, trees, leaves, whatever.
And especially on the medical side, those things matter because, again, we go back to the treatments and what we do. And if we misidentify you, right, your pronouns, that I'll be honest, that doesn't matter two iotas to me. If you want to be called a furry creature, I'll call you a furry creature, right? But I'm still going to have to treat you as you were born.
I walk up on you. You got XX chromosomes, and you're like, I lost my baby. That's a problem. You got XY chromosomes, and it's like,
we can have a conversation.
Probably not.
Yeah, right. So over here, I had a quick question. Trying to find an EMT academy. Let me tell you, I don't know where you're at, and I always suggest that being in a classroom, because of my personal learning style, has always worked well for me. However, if you think you can do it online, you can look up the public safety, Texas Public Safety EMT Academy, and they can help you out online, and you can get squared away. Even if you're in Ohio, doesn't matter. Because Ohio is a national registry state, they teach to the national registry standard. You can look up the Texas Department of Safety EMT class, and they can square you away. Just something so you know, if you're looking for an EMT class, that's one you can do.
Michelle actually kind of made a good point.
Yeah.
But I would change it to a different question. She said, I guess the real question is, you start with what gender were you born? Gosh, that makes your job tricky. I would just say, do you have a uterus inside you?
So that's very much what we've done too.
You can't ask if you have a uterus?
No, because there's a lot of females that don't have a uterus.
Oh, well, but the thing that I would say is
born with.
Oh, no, I wouldn't even go that route. If you don't have a uterus, there's no possibility to have to worry about you having a child inside you.
Well, it's not just about children, though. Hang on.
No, I get that.
When we talk heart attacks, they present drastically different in females versus males.
Yeah.
There's a lot of medical terms and a lot of medicines that depend on male versus female.
Do you have any Y chromosomes?
Perfectly okay, right?
Right.
Are you just X's or are you X's and Y's? Like, this isn't a football question.
It's going to help me out.
Yeah, this is so we don't kill you.
It's probably just easier to say, what were you born as?
No, because then that's going to be an argument. So, because
I'll be honest, what we've gotten to is,
people are
have you ever at this point in your life ever had an appendage between your legs? That's where we've gotten to. Is where we will go to. When you were born, did you have, since the time you were born till now, have you ever had?
How many legs were you born with?
Yeah.
I mean that's.
So let's check that time. We're about time to wrap up right there. That's a good one to end on right there.
Anybody in the medical field, though, whether you're EMTs, fire department, doctors, nurses, I mean, that just makes everything's just so much harder there.
Very much so. And no one, I'll be 100% honest, most of your medical field, I don't care what you identify as. Identify as whatever you want. And I'll even use your pronouns. That's not, but when it comes to medical treatment,
you have to know.
I have to know what you were when you were born.
Right.
Because that is still what I don't care what surgeries you had. That's still what you are to this day from a medical standpoint. And I have to treat you as you are. Otherwise, I might hurt you.
As a musician,
yeah,
I'm going to use whatever pronouns present themselves in front of me. If you show up to me in a dress with a beard,
so you might be
I'm calling you sir.
Fair enough.
If you show up to me clean shaven in a dress and I can't tell that you have stubble, probably going to call you ma'am.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, but the feminine feature, and that's just going to tell you how far along the process you are, right?
Yeah.
Based off of the way I address you is going to let you know. If I say, thanks, darling, that means you're doing a pretty good job of covering up whatever it is that you used to be, right? And then,
if I can't tell No, I'm sorry.
And now, hey, and here's the bonus, right? So this is going to tell you who's probably going to be attracted to you in the bar too, because I'm on the stage. I don't have a lot of time to look at you while you're dropping money in the tip bucket, right? And I'm like, thank you, darling. And I keep on going. And you got, in the morning, you're going to have to shave.
That explains
Good
a lot
job.
the last time I tipped you.
You covered it.
Thank you, darling. Dang it, I was trying.
You were looking a little thin.
Oh my
Look,
gosh.
I'm just going to say this before we wrap up.
Yeah.
I am a constitutionalist when it comes to politics.
Sure.
I believe the Constitution was right. I don't believe that the Constitution gives protections for people to not have their feelings hurt. So free speech is free speech. Unfortunately, for anybody who's listening, the free speech that I'm talking about is if somebody says something that hurts your feelings, but they have not committed a crime at that point, well, that's free speech.
Suck it up.
And that gives you the same free speech to say that you're whatever you are. Because if you're lying about it, if you're saying you're something you're not, then that would be the same as me lying about something, right? So we're on the same board right there. When it comes to this, and again, everything comes down to amendments. So if you want something to change, by all means, push what you want to change.
Absolutely. That's your right.
The thing is you need 66% of the states to ratify an amendment.
Correct.
Which means that not just 50-50. This isn't democracy.
No, it's a republic.
Right. We're a constitutional republic. So if you want something to change, you laughing at my birthday?
No, I'm laughing because for a non-political podcast,
I know.
the last 2 episodes have been fairly political.
It's
That's
crazy.
all right.
But we're getting closer, man. We're getting a lot closer to the election, and this is some of the stuff that's on people's minds. So
Go ahead.
I don't want people to come into my house and start searching my house without my permission. That's the right to not have somebody come in, search and seizure. I think it's the Fourth Amendment.
Fourth Amendment. Yes, you're correct. The right to search and seizure.
I think the 19th Amendment was the right to vote for women, I believe. I
think so.
I don't know all of them off the top of my head, so I'm just as confused as a lot of people are. But go make yourself smart on the things that you want to fight about.
Yeah.
And if you're going to fight about them, you need to know about them. And all that lines up with, I'm going to defer to the Constitution.
Yeah.
Me, right? And I think Greg's the same way, but I can't speak for him. But I can say that if you want to vote Democrat, vote Democrat.
Sure.
I don't care. If you want to vote Republican, vote Republican. I think they're all full of crap. All right.
100%.
But I'm going to line up with the one that makes my life easier, makes my life better, makes my life more fruitful. I'm going to vote for the one that puts more money in my pocket, the one that doesn't try to kill babies like that. That's me. Mm-hmm. If you were all right with let's separate this in two, right? There is no right to choose. There's a right to abortion. There's a right to not abortion. Those are the two. It's not right to life, right to pro-choice, pro-life. Those are not the two options. It's right to abortion, right to not abortion. Those are the two options. The conservative side always wants to say it's pro-life versus pro-abortion. No, it's pro-abortion versus not pro-abortion. And decide where that lines up for you. I don't care. That's you. Bill Burr said it best. Yeah, I think you should have the right to choose. But you're killing a baby.
Yeah.
That's Bill Burr.
Episode,
yeah.
That's Bill Burr over at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Right? So know what it is that you're in favor of.
And to be clear, that same group that's talking about we're pro-life are also not anti-war. I just want to point that out. And I'm just being honest.
Now, you can't say that because not all of them are pro-war. A good majority.
I didn't say they were pro-war. I said they're not necessarily anti-war.
We're going to roll this back, but yes, you did. It may be the whiskey that got that to come out that way, but no. So I understand what you're saying. That it doesn't mean that the folks that are pro-life are not necessarily against the death penalty.
Correct.
Or whatever.
Correct.
Whatever. All those things.
Right.
Which is why it's pro-abortion versus pro.
That's why I like the way you put it.
Or not abortion versus I'm pro-death penalty and I'm against the death penalty, or I'm pro-war, I'm against war.
Take the spin out of it.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Just call it what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Call it what it is, and we'll move a lot. We'll move forward, and we'll move closer together.
Yeah,
I think as a nation, right? So, and I know we're not a national podcast, but who knows? Maybe in the future we might be. And this one, they go back and they listen to it and they're like, oh wow,
these guys were so far ahead of their time
from the beginning.
Yeah,
they
knew what was going on.
And let me just say this, just because it's an issue that people seem to have. I mean, we kind of had this conversation, I think, with Matthew recently.
Which one?
Well, just because somebody votes opposite of you, doesn't mean you still can't be friends.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like you still can get along. You can still hang out in the same room. You can still be best friends. We all have our right to our own opinions. There's way too many people though that are. I mean, they're divided in their friendships and families because one's voting red and one's voting blue.
There's a number of people that like the color green. There's a number of people that like the color purple.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hate the people that like the color purple. Right. So yes, it may be a little bit more dramatic when it comes to I'm anti-abortion, I'm pro-abortion, whatever. The fact of the matter is you guys have a disagreement, but that's the only disagreement that most of you have. So get over it. They're in favor of one thing, you're in favor of another thing, and that's okay. You don't have to hate each other for what you think is the right choice, because when it all boils down, you think that's the right choice.
The cancel culture of today is absurd in the fact that we've gotten away from middle ground. You either have to be far right or far left, and that by itself is toxic, right? The idea that I must 100% align with any party, this is a callback to our last episode where I said the political parties are pushing an agenda. I don't agree with either side 100%, and I don't disagree with either side 100%.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're brainwashed. That's ridiculous. And the idea that we can't have differing opinions and still come to a consensus. Look, Chuck likes whiskey that burns. It sucks. I like whiskey that has flavor. It's good. But that doesn't mean when we drink a whiskey that he likes that's horrible, I'm not still his friend, right? We still make it work. And let's be honest. Sometimes the Democrats burn. Sometimes the Republicans taste good. Sometimes the Democrats taste good and the Republicans burn.
At the end of the day, it very, very, very interesting. Well, oddly, I'm not even saying interesting.
You are special.
That is a very odd summarization.
But am I wrong?
But you're right.
The middle ground is where we really should be. There's not any one party or any one person that is 100% right all the time. Right. And if you think they are, you're brainwashed. So go out and, just like Chuck was saying, vote for what you believe in. Vote for what you think is right. And tomorrow, don't hate the people that disagreed with you.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to defer to management. When is the Station 290 show? October 7th, I think it is, right?
No. Stop.
The what?
If you're deferring to me, then don't.
I said I think.
October 5th.
October 5th.
Podcast will have come out. Nope. It'll be after this podcast. Or before this podcast.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll put this one in front. But for those that are watching online,
too many callbacks.
Hold on. Let me go this route. Thank you for tuning in to the Rhythm and Rescue podcast on Whiskey Wednesday. In an effort not to confuse you, we're going to go ahead and shut it down now, and then we'll talk to people that are online later.
Who are you?
It doesn't matter. We're done.
He was like, nope, that's it. We're done. Did you delete it?
No, it did just.
You guys that are on TikTok, thank you for being with us. God bless you.
What I wanted to say though is now that it's not being on the podcast.
Yeah. This is live.
The Station on 290 is coming up. It's in Harper on October 5th, where the band is headlining a Red Rally event.
A what?
Yes.
A Vote Red Rally.
Vote Red Rally event.
So, well,
had you finish the night with Chuck the Deleter?
I know. That was so funny. Yeah.
So here's the deal. I'm not red. I'm not blue. I'm more of a beige, I guess. I'm purple. Whatever you want to call me, I don't care. I think that there are plenty of Republicans that are off the rocker, and I think there's plenty of Democrats that are off the rocker as well. The only thing that I say is go out and vote your conscience. Make sure you know what you're voting for, and come out to Station on 290 in Harper, Texas on October 5th. And come support us because the band's gonna be out there. We're gonna be tearing it up. Michelle, as we're heading out here, says the flag is red, white, and blue. We just need to be informed when we make our vote. So yes.
I can be brown, I can be blue, I can be anything you like.
There you go. I don't know who's on there, but it looks like it's the dude from Deadpool.
Yes, Ryan Reynolds.
And let me see the other guy. And it also looks like the dude from Old School.
Farrell.
Yes. So
Oh my God.
Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell,
That's
singing "I Can Be Brown."
I can be brown, I can be, because you started with you can be red, you can be blue, you can be anything you like. Yeah, I'm beige.
All right, y'all. We're gonna close this out here on
Night, y'all.
StreamYard, which is the Facebook and
YouTube.
YouTube versions. We're out of here. Thank y'all. Have a good night.